Hey everybody, Steve the Amateur Historian, and I'm actually starting off by coming to you the day after my first leg of my trek, which I initially thought, foolishly and presumptively, I was presumptuous, that I could finish in one day. Now, why did I think I could finish walking the Wildwood Trail in Forest Park in one day? Well, I'd walked a good chunk of it before, the southernmost chunk, and that led me to believe that based on how long that was compared to how long the rest of it should be, that the Wildwood Trail was at most probably like 15 miles, which is a pretty good trek, but I could make that. I've had like 17, 18 mile walking days. So I didn't check ahead of time to see exactly how long the Wildwood Trail is. Checked it last night after I got home and couldn't walk anymore, that it's actually 30.2 miles long. Now, I already started a little ways into the trail from its northernmost point, but still, it's probably about 25, 26 miles I would have had to cover. So I didn't know that going into the first part of this video, and you'll notice as the video goes along that I'm slowly realizing this thing is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So this is actually turned into an excursion that's going to have to happen over 2 different days for me to just cover most of the Wildwood Trail, because as I also found out last night, after getting home, Wildwood Trail is the longest urban, meaning within a city, longest urban walking trail in America. Yeah. So unlike my actual pre-planning for the distance I was going to have to hike itself, I actually did take the time to pre-plan my route getting to my starting point, which is several miles from where I actually live. I could have taken the 72 bus straight from right near where I live, could have taken me right up to St. John's where I was going to have to get off, but the 72 is an extremely sketchy bus, so I decided to follow my old faithful route and head over and catch the Max by where I live, which I took to the Rose Quarter, where I switched off onto bus number 44 that goes straight up into St. John's. And from there, I departed knowing I was going to have to face my crippling fear and anxiety in terms of heights and cross the St. John's Bridge, the epic St. John's Bridge, which every single time I've ever crossed it has been just a horribly anxiety-ridden experience, but I managed to make it across, knowing that just a few steps away from there would be the beginning of Germantown Road, that I'd only have to go up a short distance to get to a trailhead that would lead me to the Wildwood Trail trailhead at Germantown Road. Even though walking up Germantown Road is no easy feat in and of itself, it is not a road that is friendly to you if you're on foot. But anyway, that's where my journey initially began. The initial plan was to walk the whole Wildwood Trail. I wanted to do the whole thing. And I'm still going to walk about 80% of it. But there's still a part that goes between Newberry Road and Germantown Road that I don't even, I would have to walk just along the highway several more miles. And, sometimes the trailhead isn't where, Google Maps and stuff tells you. And I really didn't want to risk getting stranded up there. And it would have been 3 more, there's the Ridge Trail that starts there. I'm not taking that one. I'm going a little bit further down. I'm actually going to get to Germantown Road. But, yeah, I would have burned 3 more miles out of my tank. I'm going to be going from the Germantown Road Wildwood Trail trailhead to the end, all the way down by the Oregon Zoo and Washington Park, and I can see Germantown Road from here. So officially we're off and running. I feel like it's mostly, especially the way these people are just swerving off onto this road. Of course, we're going to have a chance. Oversized load McGee here has to come barreling it. You are going way too fast, logger man. Alright, I'm going. Alright. That was the easy part. Yeah, so this is really what I have to work with for a very short distance. Already feeling that juicy leg burn, but I don't want to stop walking till I get to a spot that's safer. Oh my God. This truck almost hit that van. Yeah, Earth 2.0, dude. Bring it down a notch. This is where I get off the road. Didn't die. I'm good. Of course, I think there's a lot of hill climbing that's about to happen. Trillium Trail. That's what it is. And we begin. Sorta. First obstruction. Oh yeah, it broke right out of this tree. This is just, I thought that was holding it up at first. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that's a after effect of the infamous February storm where like pretty much branches fell out of every tree in the city. Getting the heavy climbing out of the way first. What the devil? This doesn't look safe at all. Oh my God. I feel like I'm gonna tumble backwards. Jeez. I thought the stuff I did was hard. At least there's little root steps to climb over. Oh man. Ooh. This is the hardest part. It's adjusting. It's been about uphill 80% of the way. For me, it's about adjusting, getting through that first rush of just being exhausted climbing the hill, and you hit that point where you're like, I'm done. I can't go anymore. So you take a rest for about 15 minutes, and after that, usually it's clear sailing for me. My second wind is amazing, almost unending, which would be a lot better if my first and second wind were great, but I'll take 1 out of 2. Anyway, let's keep going. I'm guessing this is Leif Erikson, because Leif Erikson is actually like a road pretty much. And then this will lead me to the planned trailhead, more or less. Did I turn off onto the cannon trail without knowing it? Because I'm right by the road now. I didn't see, because there's a little side trail I'm supposed to turn off on to get to the Wildwood trailhead, which I know starts on Junction right here. Maybe this is it. Maybe I just got confused for a second. This is probably the Leif Erikson. I'm on the Leif Erikson trail. This is the Leif Erikson trailhead, and there's like a little trail that I branch off on to get to where I need to go. I got so confused there for a second. Forest Park, a natural escape. Leif, Erikson at Germantown Road, tracing the park's history. Park's two major trails, Wildwood, which I'll be doing obviously, Leif Erikson Drive, run roughly parallel. Yeah, they do pretty much run parallel to each other. Also, smaller trails and fire lanes are connector trails that run between the park's two major main trails. Germantown Road has a rich history of human use. Multnomah Indians hunted, foraged, and set up trade routes in the area. Later, European settlers used these trade routes to transport crops to communities along the river. With trade and population growth came intensive logging of the forest. Today, Forest Park is protected for wildlife and for our enjoyment and recreation. Oh. That little rundown shack in the area. Multnomah Indians lived in this region but did not live in what is now Forest Park because they believed spirits dwelled there. However, they did hunt and gather. European settlers, by 1849, these trails had become well-traveled passes with names still used today, such as Cornelius Pass, Germantown, and Springville roads. By the early 1900s, public interest in protecting and preserving forests was growing. 1927, a donation by Clark and Wislammer created the 17-acre Clark Park. Pause for a moment. Get a snack. Anybody need a pair of shoes? So this is a very short trail. I think it really serves more than anything else just as a connector trail between the end of the Leif Erikson and the start of the Wildwood up here without making you have to walk along Germantown Road, which, as you saw earlier, is not fun nor safe because this trail starts at the Leif Erikson trailhead there and it ends at the Wildwood. So just a connector. We made it, I think. If I'm correct, this sign should say either Canyon Trail this way or Wildwood Trail. Oh, there it is, Wildwood Trail that way. So that means right here. I did say I was going to go from the trailhead, so it doesn't kill me. The trailhead's right here. This is where it begins for me. Again, the Wildwood Trail does go on a little bit further north for a few more miles, but I'm getting to a place where there's no buses up there. There's really no guarantee of transportation, but vehicles are parked over there. I'm guessing the trail continues right there. Meanders a little more that way, but oh yeah, that's the Canyon Trail coming out, but the actual, and of course, all this hill I'm probably gonna have to climb. That's one thing. Usually at the start of a trailhead, there's a lot of hill climbing. Well, usually because they're coming off of these roads that are burrowed into these little cavities. Another one of these. This actually looks a little different than the one at the Leif Erikson trailhead. It's also very high up. How will this forest look in 20 years? Causing change of snag. Little bridges. Oh, this is cool. They kind of show what the different ages of trees and growth look like. Yeah, so see, we're right here, and yeah, so you see Wildwood Trail goes on. So this is the part I'm missing, but then it goes on forever. So let the official journey begin. With a bunch of hill climbing. It's alright, it's always at the start. Barely onto the trail. Fresh obstruction recently. Well, not recently, but a fallen tree. Oh God, here we go, the Wildwood Trail. wonder, is this where the, probably where the Cannon Trail comes out? Yep. One of the nice things too is if you're on the Wildwood Trail, they pretty much continuously have signs out here. You don't get lost like I have in other places. And it's never, when I get myself lost, I get myself lost. And it's cool because you see those signs that we just passed. Those are like, you know, fairly newer signs, pretty good condition. But the deeper you get into the park, you get some of the old kind of falling apart wooden signs. Got a little bit more edge, a little more history to them. So yeah, this trek is from the start of the trailhead, just right back behind me. It's probably from here to the zoo, it's got to be at least 9 miles. Just heard some noises, like some interesting bird noises. Yeah, that. Sorry, there's some kids yelling that just ran past me. Are those birds? Is that a bird noise or is that some weird contraption? I don't know what that is. It's coming from up there. I don't know. Lots of interesting bird noises. That one particular noise, I'm like, what is that? If that's a bird, that's a very distinct caw, or whatever you want to call it. Awesome. Now that's nature. You've got this rotting away tree that's been chopped at the top and just new life springing out of the top of it. That's awesome. Not to take a dark turn or anything like that. Every time I come to Forest Park, I think about this. I did like a little video a couple years ago while I was walking through Forest Park, and I really think, mind you, this is a gut feeling. Gut feeling. I've never said it's anything more than that. It's not, you know, I base it on some things, but not based on like actual evidence. It's a gut feeling. I've always felt like Kyron Horman is out here somewhere. And I mentioned that in this video I did a couple years ago. I've just always felt that. And I know somebody came on to like the old video I did and said like, oh my god, nobody would do that. There's too many people out there. And I'm like, do you have any clue how big Forest Park is? I've been on the Wildwood Trail for like almost a mile. I've had 4 people pass me. And this is like peak walking hours. Like, listen, there's no one. Now granted, if Kyron Horman was left out here, you know, during the daylight, that would be risky. But I've always, just something, an aura, I don't know what to call it. I've always felt like he's out here somewhere. And, you know, also people say like, oh, someone would have found it. And I'm like, have you seen some of the cliffs? Like, not really this so much, this is meek, but there's so many open areas, like up through here. You think anybody's going up in there? If there's a trail up there, someone, you know, deposits something down in there, unlikely any human's ever going to find it. And for those who don't know, Kyron Horman, I mean, if you live in the Portland area, everybody knows the Kyron Horman story, but if you don't, Kyron Horman was a little boy who disappeared June 2010, so it's been over 10 years. Wow. He showed up at school for this little science fair thing and then just disappeared. And most people think his stepmom was directly involved. I do too. I still don't know exactly under what circumstances. I actually was planning on doing a documentary kind of thing about that. I said I was going to, and literally just after I made that announcement, people started messaging me and telling me, like, dude, if you do this, like, you're gonna get death threats and stuff. And it kind of shook me up. And it's because some people take this, I mean, I did a video about a girl who disappeared from Warrenton like almost 40 years ago. I like, video got some views, went dormant for a month. People came out of the woodwork and started attacking me on that. And that was a really old case in a small town that most people don't know about. Kyron Horman is still big front page news, and like a book just came out on it, and I thought, well, that's gonna have a lot more information than I have. It was just something that I decided, like, if I ever do it, it's gonna be like a private video. Like, I'm only gonna give the link to people I can trust, because I don't want just random loonies out there watching it, and because they don't agree with everything my perspective and all that, they're gonna friggin' come after me, you know. And it's just like, a lot of these people that are getting, you know, real uptight about this stuff are locals. I don't, you know, I need to live here after I do that video, and I don't need, you know, people connected to Kyron Horman's stepmom making legal threats on me and just all that crap. So I just decided, like, if I ever do it, I'm gonna do it in a way that, like, it's not just a public video like the rest. But anyway, I've always felt like he's out here. And again, people say, oh no one, there's too many people. They did a film about it. There was a man and his daughter. They lived out here in Forest Park for a couple of years, and nobody knew about it, because this park is vast. And if you're coming in from the east side of the park, you know, kind of from downtown Portland or Willamette Heights, there's a lot more people there. There's a lot more trails coming in. But if you come in from the west side of the park, which that's where the school Kyron Horman went to, was over on the west side. His stepmom was driving up and down roads just to the west side of the park. You come in from the west side, there's a lot fewer people coming in, because it's more less populated on that side. And there's, you know, these little kind of sketchy dead-end roads that don't really go very far. These trails that kind of go in a little bit. You could sneak down one of those and literally, you know, it's a disgusting thought to think about, but roll the body down a steep incline into an area that nobody's ever going to access. And he could just be down there. Nobody would know. Again, not basing this on evidence. It's a gut feeling. I've always felt like Kyron Horman is out in Forest Park somewhere. And even if he's not, it wouldn't surprise me if people that have gone missing, that were killed and have just disappeared from Portland or surrounding areas, it wouldn't surprise me if other people have deposited. I'm not trying to get morbid, I'm trying to enjoy, you know, this fun little trek on the Wildwood Trail. But there's all these down in there. Literally, I mean, obviously there's brush here, but way down in there, there's no trails. The Wildwood Trail goes up and around over there. There are no trails down there. That's just a steep, thick, dense drop off into nothing. Nobody's going down there ever. You know? So I certainly think even other possible people who disappeared. I'm not saying this is like body dump site number one, but it's a massive park. There's lots of little inlets that don't get traveled as much, that people don't think about when they say, oh no, this park's too crowded, there's people on every trailhead entry, there's always people there. It's like, yeah, Leif, Erikson, and Wildwood, these big ones, yeah, sure, but there's so many other little side trails and side routes that barely anybody ever goes down. Holman Lane, which I went down, I'll be passing that I went down there for a video I did. Walked the whole length of Holman Lane, which is like, used to be an accessible road in parts, and now I think it's more just kind of like a fire lane. I passed 3 people going there and coming back. 3 people. Interestingly enough, 2 of them were on bicycles, and only one of them came back. And the guy stopped and looked at me. He was like, "Hey, did you see my friend come this way?" I'm like, "I didn't see anybody." And then he was like, "Oh, well, I hope they're okay," and just kept going. So, strange things happen in Forest Park. And there was, this has actually shown up on, some other people have stumbled onto it, because I first stumbled onto it and did a video on it. I called it like the Witch Trail, because I went up it and there was like little like house made out of sticks, almost like a stick teepee, and there was like bells hanging down, and there was like the little like triangle, square, rectangle thing. And other people have stumbled onto it, and I'll see it pop up on Facebook pages like Hidden Portland for the Curious. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I found that. I vlogged there." Other people are finding the creepy witch trail thing now. So yeah, there's a lot of, for how beautiful this park is, there's some weird stuff that either happens or you get the vibes. Waterline Trail. Oh yeah, I knew I was gonna be crossing this, so yeah. Excuse me. So yes, this cuts through, kind of wafts away and goes up there. Wildwood Trail, keep on going this way. So anyway, just real oddities, and I really think Kyron Orman's out here somewhere. That's all. So I know GoPros don't have the best sound quality. They usually have a little extra hiss and whatnot, but I'm hoping you can hear. There's some animal or something rummaging through the brush there. Other than that, and a plane, dead silence. Ooh, yeah, you probably didn't stand a chance in this side ground. This is that part of the trail that gets a little bit tighter, a little more closed off. Just realized I forgot. I got so elated that when I finally made it to the Wildwood Trail, I forgot I was going to get some more. I got some clips when I first started, so it's fine, but I want to get some clips along Germantown Road there at the Wildwood Trailhead too, because I eventually probably want to do a video about this. There was a, I'm still kind of learning about the more larger effects of this case, so my knowledge on it is meek. I'm still learning about it, so if I do a video, it's a little ways off. But there was a guy named Roman Podless that was killed along Germantown Road back middle 20th century. I believe it was 1948 when he was found dead along Germantown Road. He'd been garroted. He didn't really have any effects on him. Took a little while. He had to be identified by a former college friend, because he went to Vanport College when Vanport was still in existence, because he died, I think, just before. It was either just before or just after the Vanport flood. I think it was just before. And it was kind of thought to just be this isolated incident, because, I mean, you saw Germantown Road when I was on there. Even today, it's not really that bit. Most of the people that are up here either kind of live in houses off the edge, or they come out here to walk these trails. So think about how much more rural it was back in 1948. And so it was easy to think like, oh, here was this guy who's probably hitchhiking or something, and someone saw him and he was a victim of opportunity on this dark rural road, and they killed him. But as I understand it, there was actually much larger again, I'm new. Oh, yeah, no problem.
Have a good one.
You too. But yeah, I don't really, I still don't know the details of the whole, but it was one of these things where it was just initially thought to be just kind of an isolated murder, and it actually turned out to have much more wider implications to it. Implications I'm still learning about. I mostly read about it, or I first heard about it from J.D. Chandler, local Portland historian, rest in peace, when I was interviewing him for my Woman in the Water documentary. And he was talking about something. By the way, when that guy came up behind me, it scared the shit out of me because it's so quiet. And all of a sudden I just hear like, hey, can I get it? I was like, oh, I'm feeling that pain in my gut anyway. Just had to say that before I forgot. And when I was interviewing him and I asked him, one of these questions, it probably had something to do with like the Portland police and crime in the area during the 40s. He was like, the police did this and that, and we found that out with the Podless and Schultz case, which I think him and another guy named Pierre Schultz. I think there was like an interconnection between those two. And, when he said that, I was like, what? Because I'd never heard about that. So I was like, oh, because, when I hear about a new case, my ears perk up. So I knew that there was some larger implications before even looking up information about it and finding out that Roman Podless in particular was killed right along Germantown Road there. I don't know the exact spot along Germantown Road, but that vicinity. And then I think Schultz, they said, was killed, or he was found along the Columbia Slough. I think I read it was like around that area. And it was, so I forgot to get some more video there, and I forgot to mention it while I was there at the start of the Wildwood Trailhead, but whatever. There's, an interesting murder story that I need to look more into, because I don't really have a lot of details beyond the general details of the murder itself. It's the why and who was directly involved that I need to read more about. Anyway, onward we go. It won't be the last reference I make to murder cases along this trip, because you know me, no Steve the Amateur Historian video is complete without a few gory details, even in a beautiful place like this. Oh my god, I saw this bee float down. It was like it's like a bumblebee, but oh my god, it's like the size of a truck. I looked at it and I was like, seriously, like that freaking big, about that long. Ooh, they grow them big out here in Forest Park. Birds over here are having a city council meeting or something. Of course, now they go quiet. Ah! I know, right? You can't really see him, he's in the dark. There he goes. He was like, it's just me and this white boy. I'm out of here. Okay, it looked like it was going to be closer to my head than I think it actually was. It's the dude that just ran by me earlier. It scared the crap out of me. Fellow ponytail fella. I just realized he doesn't have any shoes on. He's running barefoot on this crap. I don't know whether to respect him or call him a jackass. I guess there was an issue, probably not this far up, but was an issue during quarantine of a lot of homeless people kind of moving into Forest Park and people being worried, because homeless people unfortunately tend to set fires to stay warm at night without really paying attention to making sure it gets put out or something like that. And there was a lot of concerns of this park not just having one fire issue, but a lot. So the first thought when I saw that guy running by barefoot was, what if there's a heroin needle on this trail somewhere? But odds are, if I'm going to encounter anything like that, anything really homeless related, it's probably not going to be till I get down, even past Lower Macleay. Oh God, ow, ow, ow. That's the second time I've done that. That's the second freaking time I've done that. My sensitive toenail fungus toe. The skin is a little sensitive on the back side of it, and I just jammed it on this son of a bitch. It'll be fine. Just keep walking. It's fine. It's just when you bang it into something, it jams the toenail into that sensitive skin along the back side of it. Oh, my life is over. That's gonna hurt for a while. That was like straight on contact. Excuse me. Take a moment to hydrate after jamming the bejesus out of my toe. Let's hobble forth. I honestly have no idea how far along I am. Because I know, again, once I start getting towards Lower Macleay Park, that's... Bird? Oh, thought I heard a bird close by. But you know, that's when you start getting a little bit closer to the city. You can kind of maybe start hearing the whispers of civilization. I'm still not hearing any of that. I'm not really seeing anything that suggests the end of Forest Park. It's still dead quiet with the exception of the random critters out here and the occasional passerby. So, I mean, I could be like half a mile away from Lower Macleay Park, Willamette Heights area. I could be like 3 miles away. Well, probably not that far, but still. It's kind of cool, this little... It's like a weeping willow of the mossy pine variety. Ah, we're colliding with another trail. So Wildwood continues on this way. Oh, Springville Road. Yeah, this was referenced. So my guess is this was probably actually like a road that cars went down once upon a time. So this is... So I'm assuming Springville goes this way. I go up that way. Where am I at? Oh my god. Wait. Okay, I'm here. I started here. I'm here. Lower Macleay Park is all the way over here. So yeah, I am nowhere near there yet. Which is just fine for me. Wait, I need to make sure. Of course, somebody like charred this up. I just need to make sure I'm going the right direction. I don't want to go the Springville route. Yeah, it looks like I keep on going up this way. It would be, I mean, obviously, you know, this is a wide road. This is kind of like Leif Erikson Drive, which this is more Wildwood's speed. And even the map kind of implied this road kind of goes this way and Wildwood kind of meanders off like that, so it doesn't specifically say I go off this way, but all logic and what evidence I have to base my decisions on tells me that this is the Wildwood Trail. And if it's not, well, That would just be so like me. Oh my god, though. I thought, you know, I'm probably about 2/3 of the way, at least halfway to the lower Macleay Park area. Nah, I'm like maybe 1/3 of the way there. There's a lot of walking ahead of me, my friends. And the thing is, once I get past lower Macleay Park, it is a lot of uphill climbing. Whew. It's alright. I'm into that like walker's high phase where nothing phases me. Pardon the pun. Hello. Hi there. Oh, look at this little babe. What you doing? Ow, I just banged my toe again. Hello. Hello. They're talking? No, it's alright. Hello? What that? What are those noises? Okay, well, I'm wondering if I'm scaring you, so I'm gonna, yeah, I don't wanna, I just saying hello. But yeah, the little baby's all by himself. So if I'm walking away, I swear. I know, like, they'll send signals. Yo, that little critter almost walked up to me. Then I was like, nah, I don't trust you at all. Still tweeting back there. Yeah, that was a little fella. Oh, excuse me. I'm already starting to get tired. Like, not like tired, like, oh my god, I need to stop. But just kind of like, you know, like whenever I'm out vlogging, it's always like, I get to that point where I realize, like, okay, I'm kind of pretty much done for the day, so I should probably wrap it up, start heading home. I'm already kind of starting to feel that. I know it'll pass, because I know, like, quitting now is not an option. And it's not even tiredness, it's just kind of like that, I've had my fill for the day. Yet I bet you $1,000,000, like, 30 minutes from now, I'll be all jacked up. I'll be like, look at this, look at that. You know what happened over there? I don't, but do you? Ah, something to break the monotony. I mean, not really. This is, I assume named after Joanne Hardesty, who I randomly saw while I was vlogging in downtown. I was literally in the middle of saying something. I was like, uh-oh. I have to stop because, like, I'm walking and I'm trying to talk and I'm like, Joanne Hardesty just is like standing in front of me. Like, I can't talk anymore. Alright, so Hardesty Trail goes on up that way. And, I mean, according to this, Wildwood keeps going this way. I did notice that when I was kind of scanning through the trail that I saw there was a Hardesty Trail up in here now. I assume it's named after the commissioner, unless her family has a, I don't know anything about her family, but unless she has a more solid lineage in the realms of Portland history, that would lead to this trail getting that name. I would assume it's just named after her. The devil, here's another trail going down. Here we go, now we're starting to see the older signs. Oh, okay, so there comes around and Hardesty Trail continues down that way. Yeah, because this is like an older sign. Like, this sign has definitely been here longer than Joanna Hardesty has been a commissioner. So maybe there is something more to it, because yeah, these are more the old signs you see once you get deeper and deeper into the forest. I mean, look at how old these are. These have been here a very long time. These signs have maybe been here longer than I've been alive. I don't know. Probably not quite that long, but still long enough. And this just feels weird. I've been using my GoPro, so I'm used to not seeing my face. And now I know how I look today. Not too shabby. This bridge is a little wobbly. I don't know. But the GoPro did after all that stuff leading up to here. Battery was finally starting to go dead on her, so switched up to my main iPhone. Still don't know exactly how far it is for Lower Macleay Park, but it's still beautiful out here. Nobody really behind me. I mean, I've been kind of maintaining pace. I haven't really stopped much, so it's not really too big of a surprise that nobody is immediately behind me. Oh my God, this thing weaves so much. I'm pretty much in line with the St. John's Bridge, which I didn't even go that far north of the St. John's Bridge to get to Germantown Road. Yeah, here we are, Ridge Trail, which goes down this way. This starts along the road right by the St. John's Bridge, like right there. So I've literally managed to barely make any progress going south. I'm not even really that close to being halfway to Macleay Park from the trailhead. This trail keeps weaving like this. It's gonna be like another 2 hours before I even get to Lower Macleay Park. Classic me style. I think, oh, you know, probably about, even if I stop and take a break, probably be about 4 hours. It's gonna take me like 4 hours just to get from the trailhead at Germantown Road to Lower Macleay Park, and then I have a bunch of climbing to do. What the hell was I thinking? You know, it's because I started planning this out after I got home from work, and it was late at night, and I don't think I'd eaten much, and whatever number of other excuses I can come up with here. I was sleep deprived, I was hungry, I was overworked from the workday at work. Any excuse I could throw at you right now justify my total ignorance and really understanding how long this trail actually is. Yeah. Very unlikely I'm gonna be done before 6, unless things really start to straighten out somehow. Whoa! Here we go. I literally like a half hour ago was like, you know, I'm starting to already get kind of tired. And I'm like, man, you're not even like a quarter of the way through this thing yet. Buck up and fly straight. I'm doing it though. I'm in this to the end, no matter how long it takes. Aside from getting the living crap beat out of me, and being left for dead out here, or me snapping a bone and being left for dead out here, I am seeing this through to the end. We got a marker. Might just be saying where these go. Forest Park. Great. Here's. Okay, so. Yeah, Lower Macleay is here. Oh my God. I'm like a third of the way there. Wildwood Trail. You're killing me. Whatever you are, you're killing me too. Okay, I seriously don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish this. I may honestly have to make this a 2-day excursion. I feel like I've backtracked. I feel like I've literally gone backwards. It's like I'm constantly like a third of the way there. I'm gonna have to split this trip into 2. So I noticed this 19.25 miles. I hope that's not how much further there is to go, although it would not surprise me. So seeing as I'm in like the middle of this purgatory nowhere along this trail, I've only seen like 4 people pass me probably in the last 20 minutes, and they've all been like older people. And I'm like, where did you come from? Where do you get the strength to walk through here so casually? My dogs are barking, and you know, I got some go in me. I'm not saying it's weird. I'm saying I'm impressed. goodness. I've seen some uprooted trees today, but this is a whole other beast. I got roots up under here that are bigger than my arms. Wow. You know, they ask, when a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? Well, no matter what you believe, that definitely made a sound when it fell. I think I'm starting to feel that thing where it's like you've been alone for so long in the quiet and disassociated and you start losing your mind. Or maybe I'm just getting tired. Forward ho. Dead quiet. Look at this. This tree looks like it got charred from I mean, this is burned. This tree like got burned. Like, did the tree catch on fire or was it mostly dead and it got burned on the inside? I'm surprised there's no other fire damage. Like, these trees right next to it are perfectly fine. It was just this one tree that got, like, that's definitely fire damage. The things you find in the park. Wait, I saw this dark space right here. I thought it was a person. I was like, oh, somebody got up to me. Stay back. We still might not even be halfway from the trailhead to Lower Macleay Park. I'm guessing we're not, because every time I think I'm at that point, a new map pops up along the trail that says, hey, you're not even halfway yet, kid. I feel like I'm never gonna get halfway there. There's certain things in life you just learn the hard way are never gonna happen. And one of those lessons is I'm never going to get halfway to Lower Macleay Park. It's just never gonna happen. I'm gonna be walking this trail for the next 50 years. The Trillium Trail. Why does that one sound familiar to me? I'm guessing on here would be the Wildwood Trail thing, because obviously something used to be over Trillium Trail, which goes off that way, up into the brush. Ooh. What's up, bird? He's like, no, not today, buddy. Yeah, he's off, he's gone. Hey, you. Bye, you. The beautiful purple, little purples popping up. Onward we go. Starting to hear more bees out here. Which reminds me of a story connected directly to the Wildwood Trail, which was when we ran cross country. I have another cross country story to tell, but I'll wait till we get to the area around Cornell Road to do that, because that's where we'd pull in on Cornell Road and run the Wildwood Trail kind of in that vicinity. And we arrived and entered the trail at one entry point and came out at another end. And during that run, I saw this big old hornet, and I saw it, and it was like I could see it lock its eyes on me, and it like dive bombed and went nah, 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 into like the area between my thumb and forefinger. Hurt like hell, because he literally, it felt like a stapler. Someone took a stapler and just went into my hand, is what it felt like. I know that because I stapled my finger once as a kid when I was like 4, because I wanted to know what it would feel like, because I was one of those kids. And so I'm like, that was awesome. Ow. We come out again at another entry point. There's a sign like 15 feet up a tree with microscopic font that says like, caution, hornets are being abnormally aggressive this summer. Proceed with caution. And I'm like, that's a great sign to read as you're coming out of the trail as opposed to going in, because the place where we entered in, which was another entry point, didn't have that little sign there to tell us to watch out for the hornets. So I paid the price for the fact that they couldn't put, like, that's important information. I found out the hard way. That's important information to have up for people at any entry point to the trail. So anyway, I just thought of that. You're starting to hear more buzzing in the bushes, which is probably mostly bumblebees and honeybees, but you know, hornets are like, they're not bees, but they're just assholes in borderline bee clothing. Ooh, we have another trail coming in. Which one is this? This looks like the Wildwood. I keep going this way and there's another trail. Which one are you? Wiregate Trail. As opposed to Watergate? Wildwood Trail, the arrow is pointing me this way. But also, I just started thinking, man, I bet you there's been like cougar sightings out here, stuff like that. You know, not as much as other places, but I started thinking about that. I'm like, great, that's a great thought to have in my head while I'm miles away from civilization. Like, I have a knife on me. Odds are, even if I was able to kind of try to defend myself from a big old cougar that wanted, you know, to attack me, that cougar would probably have me pretty messed up long before I was doing anything with that knife to protect myself. But it just got me to thinking, like, what if I was able to, like, fend off a wild animal or something, but it still, like, attacked me good enough to where, like, I needed to go to the hospital. And here I am in the middle of this trail, out in the middle of frickin' nowhere. Like, would they even be able to, like they would, like, I'm thinking they would have to, like, airlift me with, like, I mean, it would take forever for paramedics to get to me. You literally would have to go down the trail. It would, even if paramedics were running, it would take like over an hour for them to get to. Well, I mean, aside from these like offshoot trails, but even then, you still have to, like, if I was in a position where I was in need of very immediate medical, not to get dark or morose, but you know, this is the kind of things you think about when you're out in the middle of nowhere. It's like, if I was in the need of pretty immediate medical care, I probably wouldn't make it. I'd be like Steve the Amateur historian, died out here doing what he loves. Exploring, and one starved, crazed cougar came along and finished him off right. I don't know. I mean, there's probably been cougar sightings out here, but they're probably fairly rare just because of how frequently people are out here. The fact that even though it's a little more open on the west side of the park, it's still, you know, it's generally surrounded by civilization. It's not like if you go out to like the gorge or kind of more rural Clackamas County and you've got a lot more just general rural surroundings around you where you're much more likely to stumble onto a wild animal that probably has incentive to not want to, if they can help it, live in or infiltrate an area that's got too many people. What about them coyotes though? The coyotes. Because, I mean, like, you see them walking down the street. They, you know, they hang out in town. They just walk around with their bros. I know when I was living in Southeast Portland, near Mall 205, there were, I never saw it, but my girlfriend and her mom numerous times saw cougars walking. Like, there was one time there was literally just a pack of coyotes just walking down our street, you know? Scourging, scoundrel, I can't think anymore. Words elude me. Doggone no good coyotes. Ooh, this is a big one. Ooh. Yeah, the thing, you choose to think about the potential of abrupt death while you're in an area that's going to take you forever to get out of. That sounds healthy. Uh-oh. Destruction. Woo-wee. Ooh. Must be getting somewhat closer to civilization again. The bridges are getting a little bougier. Well, I mean, it's pretty beat up, but at least this bridge has got railings, which I guess it needs. It's a little bit of a drop. Oh, God. This is just, it's gonna go on forever. I guess the one, because I was thinking, you know, I'll end up getting done between like 5 and 6. And I'll have to be dealing with all of that rush, traffic, going home. But if I'm not getting... Oh, ow, ow, fuck, ow, 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 ow. Ow, I just hit my toe again. Ow, ow, ow. Ow. Okay, I'm really done now. I'm really done with this day. That was like the worst. That was like twice as bad as the others. But I can still, I'm just making sure. Yeah, the skin is very sensitive here, but it's, the toenail is still in place. Oh God, okay, yeah, maybe I should find a spot to rest for a spell. Ah, hallelujah. A nice spot to sit for a spell. I am in a lot of pain. Okay, no, that actually feels kind of, still hurts like hell, but it feels so good to like get the weight off of it. Yeah, it's, this is going to be hurting for about a half hour. It's just when you hit a spot that's, I hit it, oh. Tropical sunrise. This will make me feel better about my life. I was literally in the middle of saying before that happened, like, you know, it's actually kind of nice that I, like, instead of getting done around between like 5 and 6, it'll be probably more like 7, is people like a, that sounds like a vehicle. I can't handle any more surprises today. But anyway, as I was saying, like, there'll be less traffic, less people on public transportation. So, because obviously I don't want to be in too big of a rush, because like literally my toe cannot sustain one more trip like that. Okay, yeah, I want to rest, but the worst thing I can do for a toe like this is just completely stop moving. It'll just tighten up real, you know, the toe will go stiff. You know, like anything else, you walk a really long time, your legs will go stiff, anything. And I feel like that toe's really, and yeah, I'm actually walking pretty good on it now. I was thinking, like, it's gonna hurt for a while, but it subsides considerably. I can't trip again. Wait, is this Leif Erikson I'm crossing? Am I still honestly that effing far? This has gotta be Leif. No, this is, oh yeah, Saltzman Road. I know this one. Yeah. If you go far enough down this one, it actually becomes a regular road. Oh my God. I'm still not halfway there yet. Oh God. Hope you sons of bitches appreciate what I do for you. I'm killing myself for my YouTube. Ooh. This trail just suddenly started getting really narrow. I heard something back there. Hold on a second. Hello? Huh. So quiet as far as I thought I heard something back there. Do not know. Who knows how little ground I covered in those like 45 minutes. Maybe I'm hearing my own feet, like, echoing weird or something. I keep thinking I'm hearing something back there. Very nice and tight space, tight quarters. Excuse me. Sorry. Did I just take a bug with me? No. Maybe it's, I don't know, I still get vibes. There's like something back there. Well, my bag's kind of reverberating with each of my steps, and that's behind me, so I don't know. I don't like being followed way out here in the brush. Beautiful ferns, though. Little birdie. Those are a lot of little birds. Not landing on my shoulder. That would be sweet, but there's a lot of little birdies kind of plopping down on the trail and then taking off to places unknown. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm like a broken record. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful places. That's what I meant to say. Was it really that hard? Stick broke on it. Yeah, there was someone behind me who literally, like, just, like, ran up and pushed me into the brush. I guess good thing he didn't push me this way. I'm covered in crap now. Yeah, it was like dead silent, and it was, yeah, look at all this crap. Oh my God, I'm okay. I don't know, like whoever it was, like I think they booked it off that way, and my toes hurting like hell. It like, that like confused me. For all I can do is laugh to keep from getting pissed. I got like stuck in my bag. I tried getting up and I felt my bag rip a little bit more. This bag's kind of starting to rip. But okay, I guess keep my eyes open going this way, because anybody up there might mess with me. Fucking hey, man. Why? Why? Is someone, I don't know, some weirdo freaking hanging out here? Like, I don't know, I guess waiting for the, I don't know, waiting for someone like me who's on my own and doesn't have a friend that's gonna help me or some shit. Okay, I'm a little hot. This is a month for me. It's the first time the guy losing his shit on me at the, I was trying to do the Historic Murders of Portland episode. Now this. I have a knife. You jackass. Like, if you're waiting for me, I have a knife. Bee flew over my, I'm so heightened right now. Bee flew over my shoulder. It was like someone was knifing me. I'm like so heightened. It's like I'm running from the cops now or something. I've got itches on me, you know? And it's so far out here. Like, I was just getting done talking about it. Like, I haven't seen anybody in like 45 minutes. And then I swore I started hearing, like, footsteps behind me. Very faint. Oh, my God. My head is just full of this crap now. I don't know if I'm getting all that out of there. There was someone out there. My only guess is I doubt they were just trailing me for a long time. They were probably just hiding in something to mess with someone. That is not cool. Like, the area where he got me, like, you know, it's been mostly drop-offs like this. Like, there was only a little drop but like a space I could have landed in. But well, it's probably because it's so much more treacherous this way. It's probably why he pushed me this way, because I heard like 2 quick steps, and it's like I couldn't respond. I was just like, oh, footsteps, you know, and it was like my middle right, no, my middle left, kind of back, kind of. It was almost like they came in and like head-butted me or something like that. Here's another trail crossing. I'm never gonna get these. These things are like buried in my hair now. This has turned into like a fight for survival. Like I'm waiting for this dude. Whoever it is, they probably just split and bailed, because they took off running. Like before I could even stand up, I couldn't even hear their running anymore. They could have gone down this way. Probably this way if you're gonna try to escape. Yeah, I'm still only like, I'm not even halfway to Macleay Park. Like it's gonna be 6 before I reach Lower Macleay Park. Wildwood Trail keeps going that way, so we keep on going. Thank goodness. I hate to put inanimate objects ahead of myself, but thank God my iPhone. Because I just kind of, like, I had it in my hand, but as I was about to hit the ground, I was like, okay, well, I need to break my fall, so I'm gonna like let the iPhone go. I think it just kind of landed in the brush and didn't get damaged or anything. I'm fine, by the way. Yeah, just got some like little green stains and stuff. So I'm like, again, whoever did that probably bailed hard. They're probably not anywhere near me, but my fight or flight instincts are not peaked, but they're up there. And I'm not feeling like flighting. I'm feeling like fighting. Messed up my hair, man. Dang it. How quickly I forgot. I went back to check the clip because I was like, well, wait a minute. If I'm videoing myself, wouldn't I see the guy coming up behind me? Maybe I can get a visual on what he's like. Send the image to like the CIA and they can make like an ultra crisp, sharpened image of the person's face. But I had the camera facing this way, so all you see is the trail and then just kind of blah. And no suspect. It looks like this will be a mystery that goes unsolved. Crap. Now that I'm thinking of it like it's like a mystery, now I'm like, I want to solve it, but what am I gonna freaking do? I have no remote clue who that was. A little bit scratch. Oh man. This tree right here is like falling and it's like leaned into this tree. That means that tree could go at any time. I probably shouldn't be loitering under that. I remember when this thing started. It feels like days ago. And I thought, this is just gonna be fun. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be about, you know, capturing my journey around this trail, but just capturing all the beauty around me. And it's gonna be so cute. And I'm gonna have these transitional periods with some really sweet, naturey music playing. And then it all turned dark. And now it's just, this whole thing's becoming like a farce. So I'm thinking, whatever the next spot is that I get to that has another one of those maps, that will, you know, I mean, that could be like 40 minutes from now. But once we get one of those, the quickest way to get to Leif Erikson is probably what I'm gonna do at this point. And then I'll just, and if I end up having to miss a little bit of the freaking Wildwood Trail, you know what? What the hell just, I feel like a loogie just hit my knee. It's probably just a bug kamikazeing into my leg. But it's like, what more do you want from me, people? Like this one, wherever this trail goes, it'll probably give me to Leif Erikson. The problem is, I'm not 100% certain this one is. I want to make sure. Cleater. Clater. Wasn't there there was like a story I considered covering for Historic Murders of Portland. There was a girl named something Clater. That same spelling. Maybe it was Helen Clater? Like a doctor killed her or something? Uh-oh. Is this... Wildwood closed for motive between Koenig and Clater trails. But, like, is this as... Because, like, there's nothing stopping me? If I do go down, it is showing... This is a map. This does qualify as a map. Clater takes me down to Leif Erikson. And honestly... Get away from me, bug! I mean... I would get down to Leif Erikson. And then if I want to get back to Wildwood, I can do the Koenig. Leif Erikson's a little bit faster. Like, this feels like it's an old sign, but... Oh, get away from me, bee! You douchebag. Okay, I'm going this way. Just in case, like, you know, it doesn't say why there's a closure. There could be a collapse in the trail, and I don't want to get, like, half a mile down there and have to come back. So, look, we're already having to cheat the system. You know what? For those of you that are going to be like, man, you didn't even cover the whole Wildwood Trail. Suck it. I hate you. Great. Steep downhill. That means there's some uphill awaiting me at some point. I may just stay on Leif Erikson at this point. I mean, oh my god, is this a trail or is this a slide? How am I supposed to go down this thing without dying? Like, this is not safe. How is this a safe path? Like, I feel like man, you know, with my luck the past hour, I'm not really loving also having to stop very abruptly on my sore toe. This is not safe. This is not a trail. This is a kick in the freaking face. Hey, how you doing? This is a kick in the face. Like, literally, I'm having to go like baby steps. This trail is too steep. If I started trying to even take normal steps, I'd be like sprinting against my will. Okay. Now it kind of starts to level off a bit. That ain't safe at all. That is... Who the hell is... I mean, much less going down. Who the hell is going up this? Other than, like, somebody preparing for the Olympic triathlon. Damn, son. So it looks like it's not too far to Leif Erikson. And I may just stay on Leif Erikson the rest of the way. It's already like 4, pretty much. I wanted to be done in like an hour. And like, it's not like I'm just, once I get on Leif Erikson, like I'm just good to go. Like, I'm still gonna have a ways to walk, but it doesn't, you know, switch back a lot, which is why it gets you where you need to be a lot quicker. It's a lot more of a kind of, it weaves and stuff, but it's not so switchbacky like the Wildwoods. The Wildwood one's a little bit more deep into the hills, so you kind of have to revolve it around all the, you know, changes in elevation and whatnot. This is kind of cute through here, though. But yeah, honestly, a lot quicker if I jump onto Leif Erikson. It drops me off just a little bit. Oh my god, I almost jammed my toe again. Almost. I felt my foot graze against something. Jeez, this is just straight down. How high did I go up? My knees are killing me. This downhill elevation crap needs to stop. This is not good for my toe. Not good at all. And this is actually, because every time I stop, I'm jamming my knee. So, my knee's hurting. This trail sucks. Whoever this Clater person, Clater, I don't know, whoever they are, they suck and their trail sucks even more. Okay, good, it's leveling off again here. Jeepers creepers. Okay, anyway, trying to jump onto Leif Erikson. It dumps me out just a little bit north, I think a little bit north of Lower Macleay. So I'll still be coming out in the same general area. I'll probably catch the 15. and I could possibly stay on that. I can, you know, once I get into downtown around 6th, I can get off and get on the green line, or I can just stay on the 15 till it gets to 52nd, then get off and catch the 71, which literally drives right past my apartment. Okay, this trail needs to stop going. Okay, I think that's Leif Erikson. Thank God. My knees will thank you if I don't have to keep going downhill anymore. Oh, this day is garbage. It was so beautiful. And yet so tough. Oh yeah, of course. Big downhill drop right at the end. Why even make a connector trail here? I like literally, my knees are hurting so bad from this. Oh God. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Steady, steady, steady. America's watching. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. Oh my God, my knees are hurting. Okay, let's finish this. This is so much more steep than it's letting on. Okay. Oh, I made it. Leif Erikson, the worst trail in existence. So there's this sign here that also says it's, I don't know, maybe it's up to date, but I was just like, I didn't want to like get to here and there's like the whole trail is caved in and I have to go all the way back up and do this anyway. Okay, this trail is a lot more forgiving. Yeah, so here's another sign. Like I'm thinking this is a pretty valid closure, even though I'm surprised they didn't like put up any kind of tape or bungee cord. There's something so ominous about walking on something that's almost like a regular road. And it's just, oh, there's got a bike. Let's say there's nobody here. That says 5 1/4. I pray that doesn't mean I still have 5 miles to walk. I don't know if that means 5 miles that way. I mean, it is kind of there. It's on that side, so is it? I don't know. I was about to say it feels really ominous being on a route this open with nobody else being out here, and then that guy on his bike showed up and ruined that whole thought. It is, I mean, as much as I'm, you know, ready to get home, it is so gorgeous through here. And you know, the big wider path, you've got kind of this thicket with the trees overhead. It's something else through here, and it's definitely much more appealing and charming and captivating by the fact that I have nobody else here with me. So I'm kind of just, for this moment at this time in this place, I'm kind of just soaking it all in and enjoying it and having it all to myself. And if it is in fact about 5 more miles I have to walk, I'm gonna be at least 17, 18 miles for the day that I've walked today. And then I get to wake up for work tomorrow. Man, my thighs are gonna be shot. Ankles shot. Everything shot. How the frick do I still have 3 miles? You know, at the start of the day, when you know you're going to be walking a long distance, you're like, oh, there's a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, make it 4. And now I'm ready for this day to be done, and it's like, oh my God, 3 miles. It's the longest distance in the world. Just a little over 2 miles left to go, and if things couldn't get worse, popped open my water and tried to drink the last of it, and some of it splattered and hit me right in my shorts that show any liquid, so now it looks like I peed myself. No biggie, just another part of the day. It genuinely looks like I just peed myself. Hopefully this semi-warmth will dry that out really quick and I won't look like the man in his mid-30s who pees himself. So this is still, this is taking forever too. I'm so done. I'm done. I'm beyond done. Call me crazy. I'm in a lot of pain and I'm hoping not to jab my toe or pull a muscle at this point, but I'm actually running a little bit and it don't feel great. It's like, I'm so close. If I could just chisel like 2 or 3 minutes off of my trek, I might make one of these maxes. I'm gonna tear something. It's just, it's downhill. Surprised I'm not more red. This is the most exhausted I've been in so long. Man. Oh, well, there's the bus stop for 15, but I'm not on the right side of the street. So I should be fine. I should still make the bus stop. I'm trying to get to Thurman in 27th. I'm a couple blocks from there, and I should still have like 9-10 minutes. I legitimately ran, which I haven't. I shouldn't say I don't run, because I want to run again, but I haven't. I ran about 1 1/4 of the last 2 miles. Otherwise, there was no way in hell I was going to catch this bus, and I just did not want to have to wait. And I'm on fire. My face is so hot. I'm probably, I don't really feel dehydrated. I just feel very hot. Probably because I've gone like, how many miles? I don't know. I'm just gonna get 27th and Thurman and bring my, I'm impressed, you know, with how wiped out I was after I got that COVID vaccine like 8 days ago. And I've been pretty good last couple of days, but that running I just did, my face is very hot. I'm at 34th and Thurman. I suddenly realized I'm not going to get to 27th and Thurman in time, but I think that same bus goes this way because this one is coming in 3 minutes. I made it, guys. I don't know how I made it, but there comes the bus. So I made it home. I was the running that I was doing at the end, because I didn't want to have to wait for a bus. I was so tired. I just wanted to get there and have a bus show up. And I started actually running, and I seriously thought I was on borderline delusional. Not delirious, it's a better word for it, by the time I was running at the end. And I seriously thought I was going to just trip and fall on my face, because I was just like, it was like I'd been moving so long that I just didn't know how to stop. And I've never been in so much exhaustion all through my body after a certain day's excursion. And there's been days where I've walked as far as I did in this, but there was so much hill climbing, there was so much rapping. I jammed my foot or my toe several times. It's doing okay. I came home, checked it over, cleaned it up. My feet were so dusty. Even with socks and shoes on, my feet were gray from all of the dust on them. And it's the following day. I just slept for about 11 hours, which I was going to allow myself to do considering yesterday's activities. And I just woke up for work, and literally even waking up for work and first getting out of bed, I was like a robot hobbling to the bathroom because my legs were hurting so much. My left ankle is really, I mean, everything hurts. My back hurts, my arms, like everything is sore. But in particular, my left ankle is really sore. My thighs and my calves are both really sore, and I have to work today. So I'm gonna have to be very delicate and tender as I have to walk around a lot. And honestly, I'm getting so many hours this week, and I'm getting so many hours next week, that if I start feeling like I'm gonna like tear a muscle or something, if I start feeling like I'm gonna tear a muscle or something, like I'm gonna go to them and be like, I really don't think I should walk anymore. I think I should go home, chill the rest of the day. My next 2 shifts over the weekend are relatively short and easier.
Again, only if that's necessary. But I made it out of the park, and I actually got extremely lucky. Like, I realized, because it's weird, the one bus you can catch, there's like one that starts over here, but then like one ends where the next one's like a block before the next one starts. So I actually caught a bus in time, but it was at the end of the line, because the bus kind of goes to the end but then wraps around a little bit. And the bus driver's like, oh, well, if you need to catch a bus, like I'm done, like I'm at the end of my line, even though I don't know why he picked me up if he only had one stop left. And wait till he stops at the end of his line to tell me. But he told me, he was like, see, there's another 15 like I'm like a block down, and it's leaving in like a minute, so you can catch that one. I was like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. I started hobbling, and I caught that bus like 30 seconds before it left. So actually, and then I got off that bus and caught the 71, because the 71 literally drives down the street next to my apartment. So I caught it way up in Portland by Mount Tabor, so I didn't have to do a bunch of walking, which was great, because by the time I was, after being on that bus so much, by the time I got off over here, I could barely hobble up the driveway to the apartment. I was just like, and I had a hard time going to sleep because I was in so much discomfort. But I'm gonna finish what I started, but at least I know most of what I have left to walk. I've walked before. There's gonna be a lot of hill climbing at one particular point, but whatever. It's just part of the game, you know. So we're only halfway through this thing. I'm officially back. This is pretty much where I left off, because I caught the bus like right up there. I'm going back up now to finish what I started. Now, here is the plan. I'm gonna go back up to this road, leads up and ends at the Leif Erikson Drive, where I, pretty much finished my journey and was running the last like better part of a mile and a half incoherently. Like all I was thinking was, I don't want to wait for a bus. I don't want to wait. I have to catch one. I have to make it happen. And I was just like, I remember running, I was just like, it was sad. I mean, I was fine. Like when I stopped, I pulled my phone. I was like, hey, I'm down here now. But anyway, so the plan is to go back up the Leif Erikson Drive. I keep calling it the Leif Erikson Drive. Up Leif Erikson Drive, just a little ways, so I can backtrack a little bit and then get back to the Wildwood Trail and finish what I started. We're approaching, I'm passing it by because I'm backtracking, but we are approaching Lower Macleay Park, which I talked about ceaselessly. When are we going to get to Lower Macleay Park? When are we going to get there? When are we going to get there? Well, this is Lower Macleay Park down here, and it looks like there's a lot of chaos going on down there, a lot of construction. But anyway, this is the park. Goes under the bridge and kind of starts over there. This is where I kept saying I was going to get to when I'd probably have to stop, and I didn't even come close. But when I get on the Wildwood Trail, it's going to wrap around, and I'm going to actually connect with this trail a little further down. So I'm backtracking up over here,
and then kind of weaving my way down to over there, and then I just continue south in that direction. Unlike last time, it's a little bit uphill. So quite a few lessons learned from my first stretch walk in this path. First of all is, no matter how you feel, no matter how much you think you know something, if you're gonna walk a trail or walk an area that you never walked before, get a good solid feel for how long it is. I was also jumped, shoved right into the ground by someone during what was essentially one of the most desolate stretches of the trail. I hadn't seen anybody for like a half hour. So, no matter how comfortable you feel that you might be all alone somewhere, keep your wits about you. Could be someone in those bushes, could be someone in these bushes. You don't know. Don't be paranoid, just be aware of your surroundings. Because granted, I absolutely did not hear this person coming at all with how quiet it was, but still, you know, what if that guy had worse intentions, you know? Here's where I want to be. Branching off, going up the Alder Trail. There's a little plaque here in the brush. Let's see. The Alder Trail, dedicated 1980. Built by hand with Department of Labor funds in joint cooperation with the City of Portland Park Bureau. Commissioner in charge Mildred Schwab. I actually recognize that name. I don't know why I wouldn't. City of Portland Human Resources Bureau Commissioner. So it's pretty much, yeah, it's like a dedication plaque for... So does that mean the trail was made in 1980? Because that means this is a relatively new trail. I thought that was going to be something like a little bit older, like, oh, this trail is the oldest trail in Forest Park. It's even older than the stupid Leif Erikson Drive. Think you're so special just because you're wide and partially paved. Bee just got in my face. Oh boy, so the uphill climb begins. Need me rocket fuel to propel me into the 22nd century. White gummy bear. I always evaded that because that sounded just frightening for an energy drink flavor. But there's a monster flavor. I hate that I'm such an energy drink connoisseur. But there's one. I forget what it is. It's one of those ones that's in kind of an orangey, pinkish orangey can, and it tastes kind of gummy bearish, and it was actually pretty good. So I'm like, maybe this will taste the same. I don't know. Right then. Well, hello, arch nemesis. Okay, so a little ways back this way is where I branched off, went down to Leif Erikson because I just couldn't go anymore, and like I would have been stranded here. Like, by the time I reached this point, it probably would have been like 7 o'clock at night, at least. And I would have been still so far from getting out of here. So, I'm picking up a little ways further down, continuing this way. Just past a couple of older codgers. Oh, pretty much since I've gotten out here, pretty much everybody who's walked by me, you know, that are in groups, they're just talking about their jobs. I'm like, oh, be free of your workplace. You're in one of the most beautiful places you can find in the Portland metropolitan area. Like, leave your job at your desk or whatever it would be and just feel this. That's why this is here. This isn't here. So, I mean, if you've got a big thing to do for work and you're stressed and you need to deflate, then yeah, you can come out here. That's work related. But even then, the idea is to come out here and clear your mind. Clear your mind, people. I know some people struggle with that, you know, shutting that down. I do sometimes. I'm just saying, though. I mean, look at everything around me. Stop talking about your accounts and your projections, and, you know, if you gotta do that a little bit, like, sit down and talk it over and then walk and just be one. This is about the most, like, hippie-ish I get. Just be one with the nature, man. Love yourself. It's too nice out here to worry. So after the fiasco of my first trip, one thing I'm not going to do is make any projections about how long it's going to take to get from where I'm at now to the vicinity of Lower Macleay Park, specifically kind of the Witch's Castle area. And I mean, if you live in Portland, you know what the Witch's Castle is. If you're not from around here, you may not. It's a prime. It's a little touristy, like, not like, you know, the way that, like, Voodoo Donuts might be, which, screw them right now, by the way, and their unethical practices, but that's a video for another day. But, you know, if you're planning a trip to Portland, and it's like, oh, you look at those lists, like, what are 20 cool things to see while you're in Portland? Usually the Witch's Castle always pops up on that list, and the Witch's Castle is where this trail, the Wildwood, combines with the trail that starts at Lower Macleay Park and goes this way as well. And that's when we'll start seeing more people, but that could be 20 minutes from now, that could be an hour from now. Again, I'm not making any projections. I think it's because, yeah, I'm along 53rd Drive, so we're by the street, that's why it kind of opened up. So I gotta get from here, all through here, and then, yeah, eventually come out. I don't know, somewhere around here is where I want to be eventually. So, actually, yeah, a little bit more of a walk. But yeah, 53rd. And there's another trail. The Keel. I'm guessing that's Keel. Trail bobs off. Oh, wow, that looks like murder on my toenail. Hoot. Hoot. 99% of Forest Park is forested. Well, I would hope so, with a name like that, and I believe it. Forest canopy is made up of 25% coniferous, 75% mixed coniferous deciduous trees. You have to know the past to understand the present. Carl Sagan. I also love these little, because I saw one of these when I started along the Wildwood Trail. They kind of show the progression, the age of the trees, the forestation, and I spilled some of that on me, but I should have put, look at this slob. That was very sad. I'm 35 years old and I'm still spilling my drink on myself. Okay. So I think, yeah, we kind of, you know, straddle, weave back and forth the way that the Wildwood does, but yeah, we still got a bit of a walk before we reach Lower Macleay, and my hope is between here and there it's going to stay more or less level. So while I'm out here alone, and we're all feeling oh so safe, behooves me to once again venture into the darkness bin, is what I was gonna say. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. But I talked about, some darker stuff when I was logging the other day, and there's gonna be stuff to discuss here. Again, I talked about how I think Chiron, I genuinely think he's out here. That's what I've always thought from day one, so then I started rambling about that, and then that transitioned into, like, there could be, like, so many bodies in this park. Probably not, but I'm sure there's at least, one or two people that have gone missing who have never been found, whose bodies are probably out here somewhere. I mean, if this video doesn't show you how insanely massive this park is, then I don't know what will. I started to say Chiron Horman, and then a guy walked by me, and I was just like, I don't know, I felt weird about being like, guy come toward me, I'm like, Chiron Horman! But I talked about that. But back in 1999, there was a guy named Todd Allen Reed who killed 3 homeless women and left their bodies out here in Forest Park, and they were eventually found, and he was busted, and it was another classic example of here's someone that showed a lot of early signs of a troubled future as a potentially dangerous person. And according to Wikipedia, which take with a grain of salt, he was registered as like a sex offender by the age of 14. That's a bad sign. But there's at least 2 other situations, I guess I could say, that Todd Allen Reed has been considered as possibly being the killer of 2 teenage girls that vanished from Gresham. Now, granted, this was many years before when these bodies were found in 1999, but obviously that doesn't mean he couldn't have been responsible. And one of my Patreon supporters, hey, how you doing? We encountered while I was working podium at work, and you mentioned to me one of these cases, and pulled up Todd Allen Reed, and I was like, oh yeah, the Forest Park guy. But I was like, well, wait a minute, but he killed like homeless women that were of age. But it's that Todd Allen Reed is strongly considered as a likely suspect in those cases. Oh, and here's where the Dogwood Trail comes in if I would have gone up the Dogwood. But I'm sticking to my... So I assume, yeah, Dogwood goes this way, Forest Park this way. Okay. I just don't want to get lost, because that happened to me in high school. I got lost on this trail for like 2 hours, and I was like, they're going to leave without me. Did I tell that story? No, I didn't. Whatever. I'll wait till I get to where that happened before diving into that, even though I guess that's kind of a spoiler. Just want to make sure I don't screw up. This trail is so long. But yeah, so Todd Allen Reed was this guy that he ditched 3 victims that we know of out here. Got busted, went away for that. And, possibly 2 more victims that he may have been responsible for years before that. And I mean, honestly, when we're talking serial killers, who knows how many? I think, if there's like serial killers that didn't kill super frequently and only had 2 or 3 victims that are known of, maybe they really only had 2 or 3, but when you've killed multiple women in short succession, I don't know how I'm saying women, multiple people, even though women are more often serial killer victims than men, if it's like, we know so-and-so killed 5 women, for example, between like April 1995 and July 1995. If that's all you know about, but that many victims happened before you say caught the perpetrator, like there were probably more that haven't been found. Probably. Not always. That's not the only situation regarding murder that I'll be discussing on this trek. Actually, I'm not too far away from Holman Road, which is a crossing path. I think it might have been maybe a fire lane, or it may have once been a fire lane. But yeah, I'll actually be hitting that before Lower Macleay Park, so don't worry, that's forthcoming. And I always remembered Actually, when I was on the bus crossing the river into downtown, there's an old brick building kind of down there with all of the old warehouses and whatnot on the east side of the river just across from downtown Portland. And one of them is, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing the name right, but Rinella. It's like Rinella. Rinella, maybe, produce. And I always remember hearing whisperings that like a serial killer had worked there. And I know like my girlfriend's family went to a church in Portland that actually there's like a Rinella Hall there in relation to that family. And I remember them saying something about how like, yeah, their produce place, they had somebody who worked there who was like a serial killer. Well, Todd Allen Reed, unless there was another one, Todd Allen Reed worked for them. So Todd Allen Reed was that serial killer in question, as I later found out. So I remember just hearing whisperings of that, but we can consider that mystery solved. Who was that produce guy that was also a serial killer? We've come upon a marker. I'm guessing that means 8¼ miles till the end of the Wildwood Trail, because there's definitely more than 8¼ miles this way. So I probably have that much distance to go from here, which actually that doesn't sound bad considering what I went through last time. Man, I wish something of historic significance happened like right here. Maybe something did, but I don't know. Because I could literally prop you up like so. Be like, hey, I got some history for you right here. But I ain't got no history. So, it's just kind of a wasted opportunity. Oh boy, we got like a 5-way trail. Oh, never mind, there's no trail here. So this is the Wildwood, which if I really wanted to cheat, Wild Cherry Trail starts like right at the start of Leif Erikson, which is down there somewhere. Kind of went up here and just meandered back. So if I really wanted to cheat, I could have come this way and not backtracked so much, but I wanted to cover as much of this demon trail as possible. So here we are. Another crossing. I guess this is the start of another path. And a place to sit. Ah, the Birch Trail. I knew ye well. I started here like, I'm actually a little over, from when I first got back on, this is the right way, right? Yeah, because the Wildwood Trail thing is gone, but the birch that's pointing up that way. But yeah, I'm already about, from when I first got back onto the Wildwood Trail, not trailhead, but on the Wildwood Trail. From that point to here, I'm about halfway to, or maybe a little bit more, to where I connect with the little Lower Macleay Park Trail, and stuff starts getting real nuts. There's people out here. People like in their 60s, 70s. I just passed a guy going down the trail with a walking cane. Like he had to have a cane to make the trek. And I'm like, they have so far to go this way or that way. I feel like such a sissy watching people out here with support There's one guy that had like the support things, like he was gonna go skiing. Guy just passed me with a cane who had to at least be 70 minimum. And he was just like, "Morning, have a nice day." And here I am, I'm like, ugh, still got like 7 miles, man. I can already tell I'm getting kind of closer to Lower Macleay Park. In the last like 5 minutes, I've gone from the rare occasional person passing me to like, I passed like 10 people. So slowly you're starting to see more people as we get closer to a park space or where people park their cars and start walking. Because obviously, most people that are going to go out and exercise, they'll do a few miles. Whereas I'm doing this freakishly long trek, so pretty much most of this I've been completely by myself, or at least so I thought. Oh, there we go. Oh, first contact. Oh, you son of a bitch. I was doing so good. That one wasn't bad. But I just had my first... I made it like 5-6 miles. But I just bumped... And literally, it looked like there was nothing there. But I just bumped my toe on something. It's not bad, though. You gotta be careful. After you bang the toe the first time, it suddenly becomes a lot easier to do it over and over again. Okay. It's a little interesting. I don't know if they showed up well on my camera. Someone was just like, came around a corner, someone was standing there. The moment they saw me, they were just like evading me in every sense. It went up what, I don't know, if it was a trail, it was really thin. Kind of just started zigzagging up the side of the hill, which I mean is mostly just this stuff. It's not exactly anywhere to go. So I mean, I can understand you being caught off guard by someone approaching, but I don't know, the body language was like they were either like a really bad lookout for someone, or like they had just killed somebody and they're just standing there like, I'm chill, there comes somebody, I'm getting out of here. The Aspen Trail, which I could have come up if I really wanted to avoid a lot of the wildwood, because Thurman Street ends at Leif Erikson, but right before you get to where Thurman becomes Leif Erikson Drive and becomes a walking path, the last road to hit Thurman is Aspen. And if you turn off Thurman and go a little down Aspen, this trail branches off there. So if I wanted to get here a lot quicker, I could have come up this way. But there's already like, you know, several miles of this trail that I've missed, either out of, well, pretty much entirely out of necessity. So I wanted to get, you know, as much of this trail as I could without frying my body and soul out like I did the other day. I think just a little around the corner here is Holman Lane, which of course I briefly mentioned to you earlier in terms of, I don't even remember if I got to the point. I just started talking about Holman Lane. Did I ever mention what Holman Lane's purpose was? I started talking about how it was a fire lane, but I think I trailed off there. Well, whatever, we're almost there. When I get to Holman Lane, I'll explain to you the significance of that. And on that note, switched back to my primary iPhone, which was the whole plan. I figured while I'm doing a lot of just general trail walking, the GoPro is good. It gets a lot of wide shots, landscaping views. Oh God, what is that light coming from that I just have not seen since I've been in here? So I wanted to switch over to this once I started getting closer to actually like seeing more stuff and stopping a little bit more to explain things that, you know, historical things, other than the few things I mentioned at this point, in relation or at least close proximity to this particular trail. And with Holman Lane right around the corner, this is as good a time as any. Bust the phone out, start transitioning this trek. Coming up on some trail here. I'm wondering if this is Holman. Because I know it's right in this vicinity. I even remember going up this once and seeing that it passed the Wildwood Trail and being like, well, hot dog. What is this? The devil is this? What are you? Oh, just no bikes, good dogs. All right, so Wildwood Trail keeps going that way. Yes, we've arrived at the intersection of the Wildwood Trail and Holman Lane. So Holman Lane comes up from Willamette Heights, continues going off that way. And that's the way that is historically significant to us, kind of. Before then, I just remembered where specifically Holman Trail comes out, and it's just a little ways this way. Yeah, this is worth it. Just gonna briefly deviate from the route along the Wildwood, just a little bit through here. A little bit of a surprise. I mean, if you know about this, well, obviously if you know about anything, it's not a surprise, but there's just a little something that I know is right around the corner from the trailhead here. Yeah, literally right around the corner. Pardon me, I'm stumbling along here. This all opens up a little bit. Yeah, I'm like maybe 500 feet down from the Wildwood Trail. Yeah, because the start of the Holman Trailhead is right here, and it literally just comes in at a bunch of houses, which actually, the one in question, that is, I don't know, that might be it. Be interesting if I could get a, I don't know, I don't quite think so. I can't get a good view anyway. I'm just gonna go through here, go down and around real quick. So looks like there's a little stretch of, I think it's Quimby Street up here, which Ramona Quimby from the kids books, the Ramona kids books, Ramona Quimby. There's a Ramona Street and a Quimby Street. But anyway, before I get around the corner, which I'm assuming there's probably, I just would assume they probably have a lot of like, don't get close to the house signs. But any of you that are fans of the Twilight franchise, or even if you're not, or just fans of film, I can see that there's a sign here that says no trespassing. So I don't even know if I'm gonna get a good look at it. But the bougie home is, yeah, see, it says, I can't even show it to you. It says no public access, no photography, even though the mail lady's up there. You can't see it from here. I understand. I'm sure people are coming up here and harass it. It's like bothering them all the time. Dang it. Right up, see where that mail woman is going? Like right in front of her around the corner is where the home that the Cullens use, the Cullen home that you see in the film. So I forget which one, but one of them is like they're worried about people coming in out of the woods. Well, those woods are right over here in Forest Park. But yeah, this doesn't surprise me at all. So apologies. I'll stick like a picture in here of like the house. Anyway, it's right up around the corner. So no shocker. I kind of half expected something like that to happen. So another kind of wah 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 moment in this vlog, and there's been a succession of them. Man, that mail woman was so lucky. She's like the only person who doesn't live down that street that actually would have a reason to go in there. And I could see she was taking pictures of it. I'm like, that's not fair. What? You work for the Postal Service, you get to break all the rules, and I have to climb this damn hill for no reason. It's not that far to go. But anyway, it's, you know, it's like right over these houses, down that little dead end of Quimby Street. Oh my God, this is very steep. I don't like it. Anyway, back to the Wildwood. And in particular, for the next thing, I'm finally going to explain the significance of Holman Lane. Oh my God, if I don't die first. Oh, I made it. Whew. So yeah, here's Holman Lane starting. And so today you can go straight up Holman Lane and it takes you all the way to 53rd Drive, which borders this area, kind of the more southern part of Forest Park, on its west side. I'm not going up there because it's straight uphill. I did it once and it was horrible. And it doesn't have any substance to today's video, but because I'm passing so close, I have to discuss it. So Holman Lane, you know, today you can go all the way through, and I want to, but it's all just hiking. You can't, you know, drive your vehicles through here or anything. But back in 1960, the more western half of Holman Lane, which went under a different name, I can't remember what it was called, was you could actually like go down there with your vehicles. And because part of this stretch was accessible further up and around the other side, a lot of young people would use that little dead-end stretch as kind of a lover's lane. So it made perfect sense for the stretch up there to be used as a lover's lane, because I mean, it's 2021, a lot more people. Listen how quiet it is. And it was a dead-end road, and it was on the other side of the park, which is even more quiet and semi-rural. So that and kind of surrounding little offshoots were very frequent spots for, you know, people in their late teens, early 20s to go and have some privacy, so to speak, which set the stage for the one of Portland's most infamous unsolved murder cases, which I did a like a 84 minute film on it back in 2018 on my channel here, Murder in Forest Park, that tells that story of Larry, Peyton, and I forget whether it's Barbara or Beverly. I think it's Beverly. Her name was Beverly Allen. And they went down the street. Again, it's way up there. Too much climbing for me to do, considering I've got a lot more climbing to do this way. And so I believe it was November 26th, 1960. And Larry and Beverly, I feel really dumb for forgetting exactly. Peyton and Allen, they had a little run-in with some local guys. Larry Peyton was kind of known as being a bit of a hothead, and it was thought that maybe those guys kind of chased them up into this area and killed them, because the day after they came out here to have some private time, Larry Peyton was found brutally murdered, just slumped in the front seat of his car that was still up there. And Allen was missing, and she was found roughly like 40 miles west of Portland along Highway 26, kind of heading off to the coast. And she had there was like some green rope that was in the vicinity of her body that was also found at the crime scene. So there was like a connection there. And several years later, these group of young toughs that were supposedly had an encounter, altercation with Larry Peyton were eventually brought to trial. And I think that was great. I knew exactly what he was singing. He had earbuds in, so he wasn't having like a freak out. I'm talking about something so sad, and then that happens. I just hear him, the guy yells, "What more in the name of love?" Which is from a U2 song, Pride, in the Name of Love. I hear him yelling more. I just, you hear someone just randomly yelling anywhere around Portland, and you immediately think, oh God, this guy's nuts. But that guy was just getting turned. Anyway, so several years down the road, these 3 guys get busted. I don't remember if all 3 were found guilty. I want to say one of them wasn't. I haven't looked at the information in a long time, but I mean, even the ones that were found guilty were let go a couple of years later. Like, everybody knew this trial was a farce and that it was very unlikely that these guys were the ones responsible. But years had gone by and there was no resolution, and the police had a lot of pressure on them, and that can lead law enforcement to just bust whoever's convenient and hope you get a conviction. A lot of people think, I just don't, I'm not saying it's impossible by any stretch of the imagination, I just don't think it was him. There's a pretty well-known serial killer, Edward Edwards, who is definitively known to have killed, I think, like 5 people. But there's been this kind of ongoing thing that this guy was actually responsible for this succession of infamous crimes going all the way back to the lipstick killer and the Black Dahlia murders, which the claim is that he was responsible for those, even though he would have been like 13 at the time. And it's said that he was responsible for killing Sam Shepard's wife in Cleveland, which The Fugitive, that's based on that. Like, if you've seen the movie, the reason Harrison Ford is a doctor in that movie is because Sam Shepard was a doctor and his wife was found dead. And yeah, there's a lot of elements of that in that movie, but and it's said that like he may have killed Martha Moxley. He killed John Benet Ramsey. He was even responsible for the murders at Stephen Avery of Making a Murderer fame, I guess. Like, he was responsible for all these murders. And he was in Portland for a brief time when Larry Peyton and Beverly Allen were killed. And him and a friend actually came up to the crime scene afterwards, by his words, to just kind of check it out after hearing about it. So that's led a lot of people to think he was responsible for that. I just don't think he was. There was like kind of a sketchy truck driver. I think, yeah, he was like a long haul trucker who lived right down the hill from where they were found. And apparently this guy was a very hostile, aggressive guy. He would threaten people who came down this road, you know, all these young ruffians making a bunch of noise and bothering him. And he claimed to have an alibi. He essentially had a couple of receipts that like proved that when the murders happened, he was actually on a long, you know, route. Like, he was off in Eastern Oregon. But it's like, do you have any idea how easy receipts were to fake back then? He could have literally used some old receipts he had. You know, most of them, they would write in pencil on them. You can erase something and put new stuff on there. A lot of them weren't dated. So this guy's alibi was real shaky, and he lived right there. And, you know, he was known for being kind of violent and hostile. And I'm not saying I think absolutely he was responsible, but I think from the suspects we know, I think he's probably the best one right now. Again, it could have been any random person that just knew that this up there on the other side was a lover's lane kind of area. And they could have, you know, been looking for trouble, creating trouble, and, you know, waited for, you know, just a car with some people in it to go by and nobody else is around, and you can go and do whatever you want to these people. I'm assuming that's not the Wildwood Trail. That's where the U2 guy was going. But yeah, so that happened right up on the up over the ridge here of Holman Lane, which I walked up in 2018 because I wanted to go to the site, approximate location where the murders happened. So I had to tough that and go up there. So that's another piece of infamous Forest Park murder lore. I mean, the most famous form of criminal activity to happen in Forest Park. Back in 1960, it's been over 60 years, and that case has still not been solved. And alas, we couldn't see the Cullen home as well, but it's worth a shot. Anyway, having just gone through all that, I know we're getting really close to Macleay Park, or at least where the trail hooks into the park, or the trail that comes from that park. So finally, all this ways into this series, I can finally say we're almost to Macleay Lower. Gotta give it the right name, Lower Macleay Park. I swear to God. Yeah, I can hear people way down there. Those are people walking along the trail from Lower Macleay Park, which this one runs into, so I know I'm getting close. The voices are getting louder. So I mean, since it's such a famous Portland landmark, I do want to stop, pay my respects at the Witch's Castle. The only issue is there's just always so many people there. Every so often, you'll get like a 1 or 2 minute gap, and there's, people stop and they let their kids climb on it, and I'm like, well, I don't really want to vlog it if people's kids are gonna be in there for obvious reasons. So my hope is maybe I'll get lucky. I mean, it is like, what, like 1:30 in the afternoon on a fairly nice day. I'm thinking the odds are pretty long that there's not going to be people there continuously, but I'm hopeful. I can actually see the park, the trail from Lower Macleay Park. So yeah, so there's the Lower Macleay. I'm finally about to make it to this trail that I've been saying for like 3 videos I'm gonna make it to. Finally, Lower Macleay Trail, we make it, and I jammed my toe again. Oh, it's not that bad. I say angrily. Yeah, there's some people here, but they look like adults. Might as well go in here and scare the crap out of myself. Oh, it smells nice and moist in here. But it's obviously a prime spot for graffiti, and I think this might have, I know this place, one of its original purposes was it was functioned kind of like a ranger station, but it was also a public restroom at one time, so I'm wondering if this area may have been a restroom. It's pretty small, but if not... Good, it's mostly adults here right now. But yeah, this is the Witch's Castle, as it's affectionately known. Crumbling, but it's a stone structure, so it's still holding firm, and it's kind of left to its own devices for a very long time. Let's step inside, huh? Guessing there used to be probably a big window here. Something. This side's a little bit more crumbled. There was probably a window like this up there, considering this is just kind of a mirror image of this. Here's the other entry. Staircase wraps around here. Now this crumbling yet extremely popular structure to come see anytime somebody comes through Forest Park, they pretty much want to make it to here at some point or another to see the witch's castle. But this place has still to this day, I've seen people like post pictures of this and say that this was the home of the Balch family, which were kind of early Portland area settlers. Danford Balch was the head of the household. And people will sell pictures and stuff and say that this is the crumbling remains of their home to give it more historical significance, because Danford Balch is actually pretty significant to Super Oregon and Portland history. This is not the Balch home. The Balch, Danford Balch owned a lot of this, a lot of Forest Park he owned, and it was fairly coveted land. Like, this guy was doing okay for himself. You think they would have been living in something this tiny? I mean, maybe they would have been, but also, like, no, this structure was built decades and decades after Danford Balch was gone. And now he had a daughter, 15-year-old daughter named Anna. This is in 1858. So Portland is a relatively new town. There's not a lot of people living here, especially out here. There's just anybody who owned land out here. There's just a handful of people. So Danford Balch lived out here with his wife, and they had several children, one of whom was Anna Balch, 15 years old. They had neighbor property owners. They were the Stump family. And Mortimer Stump, one of the kids from that family, wanted to marry Anna and went to Danford Balch personally, asking him if he could have his daughter's hand. And Danford Balch lost it, ran him off, said, "You disgusting piece of filth, get off my land. How dare you think you have the right to ask for my daughter's hand?" But nevertheless, shortly afterwards, Anna and Mortimer kind of eloped and got married anyway. And Danford was utterly crushed by this. He did writings at this time, so you can actually read what he had wrote during this time. And it's interesting, at least in one piece of documentation, one historian has actually looked at his writings and considered, and this wouldn't be that far off for the time, because this kind of stuff happened, it's theorized that possibly Danford Balch and his daughter Anna maybe had a, I don't want to say romantic relationship, but they had something like that. And I guess it's known that when Danford married his wife, she already had 2 kids, so maybe Anna was one of those kids. So maybe she was a stepdaughter to Danford. Doesn't make it any better. I'm just saying, I don't know if they were absolutely 100% biologically related. And it's been suggested that because looking at his writings about Anna leaving and marrying Mortimer Stump, it's been theorized that the writings he did didn't come off so much the writings of a father despondent over losing his daughter to someone that he thought was like inferior to them or whatever, but they seem more like the writings of like a scorned lover whose lover had just left him for somebody else. So that's definitely an interesting theory, and trust me, there's plenty of, middle-aged men. A lot of men in their 30s and 40s would marry teenage girls and just, do whatever they wanted. So anyway, Danford goes and meets with the Stumps, and they have it out. They have this big, messy argument. Danford is pissed. Danford is also extreme alcoholic, drinks to the point of blacking out with great regularity. He comes home, gets blasted drunk, picks up his shotgun, goes down and encounters Mortimer Stump, and a bunch of people are around on the Stark Street Ferry, which would cross the Willamette River from downtown. We're kind of right in the middle of downtown, cross the Willamette River back and forth, because there weren't any bridges back then, so you had to take the ferry to cross the river.
and in front of all these people, and apparently not aware of what he had done, because later on at trial, he seemed aghast that all these witnesses had seen him do this, pulled out his shotgun and shot Mortimer Stump dead in front of all these people. So, the acts of an enraged, disgusted father, or a scorned, creepy lover? It's hard to say for certain, but it's disturbing nonetheless, and, you know, it was pretty easy. You know, there was no way Danford Balch, you know, there were so many witnesses, there was no way, even though he said, like, you know, he was too drunk to remember doing any of it, like, he wasn't going to get away with this, and he was, the city of Portland's first, hanging, like, execution by hanging, which happened in early 1859, was when that happened, and it's kind of, you know, it's kind of not necessarily Portland's first murder, but Portland's first, like, really notorious murder that's kind of stood the test of time, historically speaking. You know, historians still talk about that case. And they owned a lot of this land. They owned this land that, you know, the Witch's Castle is at today. But no, this was not... was I saying Stump? Because I meant Danford Balch, obviously. This was the land that was owned by Danford Balch. And this was not their home. Not even close. And there's even, there's a marker here that says, like, Balch home site. And it's supposedly along the Wildwood Trail. I'm not sure where it's at, so I hope I don't miss it. But I've seen pictures of the marker, but I've never seen an explanation as to exactly where that marker is. But I'm thinking it's probably not too far from here. Time to keep on. Oh, don't touch me, bastard. I also noticed a little downfield, there's like this, I don't know what this is, but I'm wondering if it was maybe in relation to the Witch's Castle and its uses. I mean, it was obviously something, and it's right downstream from here. So anyway, this is the iconic Witch's Castle.
This was not in the original.
You've seen it? And we continue on, and I'm looking. Is this the... No, that's a fence post. I, for some reason, thought that was a sign. And I thought, I'm still looking for that Balch home site marker, which, by the way, you can hear a creek through here. If you listen close enough, we're going to be straddling it for a while. That creek is called Balch Creek, for obvious reasons. Oh. You dare me to cross it? Not in a million years. I'm very warm. I'm gonna probably give me some more water. Stay hydrated, everybody. But I'm very warm. And the idea of touching some soft, cool water sounds amazing. Oh boy, I see the bridge. It's obstructed in the foliage here, but I know for a fact. Yeah, there it is. You're starting to see it. Once you cross that bridge and you start wrapping this way, oh boy, that's when the hill climbing starts. I think I'll be okay though. Mainly because I remember I came out here, me and my girlfriend walked this stretch all the way up to Pitock Mansion, like we're about to do now. And I was really out of shape, hadn't been exercising much, hadn't been vlogging, so not really being physically active outside of work. I remember actually not having too difficult of a time. Ooh, this is kind of cool. I wonder what that was. I'm curious. I don't really know. Now there's this old fencing here on both sides, but that in particular, I don't know. Maybe like a block to only let so much water in? I don't know. I'll look it up. And if I can't figure it out, I'm sure one of you Portlandites, other fellow amateur historians, or just people that know flowing water stuff, can tell me what the heck that thing was. This kind of reminds me of the trail that leads up to the top of Multnomah Falls that I walked up with my girlfriend and friends. We made it. It was exhausting, but pretty easy coming back down. But yeah, you can see climbing real quick. But yeah, it was just one of these switchback trails, just up, 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 up. One of the few parts of the trip that was actually quicker than expected. Yeah, oh, sit down space. They only refer to it as Stonehouse. Portland Audubon. That way. What about going that way? So, this, where you hear the traffic from, Cornell Road, which is one of few roads up here that actually cuts through the West Hills, coming out of the general downtown Portland area, kind of north, more coming out of the Pearl, but one of the only roads in this area without having to go to the northern edge of Forest Park, where you can just cut right through the West Hills and get to the other side to like Beaverton and all that. Closure stuff. So Wildwood keeps going that way. Upper Macleay, no longer lower. Oh, here we go. Small beginning of a big idea. In 1887, Donald Macleay donated 105 acres of forest land to the city of Portland for a park. Macleay Park became the nucleus from which Forest Park would later develop. In 1948, a group of civic and conservation organizations proposed 6,000-acre forested park in the West Hills. With help from the city, citizens alike, Forest Park has grown to over 5,000 acres, and people say this park isn't big enough. Continuing around these cars. So I can tell you, one time cross country we came out, it was the first time I'd ever heard of the Wildwood Trail. Was, I believe it was summer before my junior year. And we went, they were like, we're gonna go up here and run the Wildwood Trail. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. Well, I don't think we didn't come in here. It wasn't this big of a space. I know we eventually hit the Wildwood Trail, but I don't think we started on it because none of this looks like how I remember the area we stopped at being. So my guess is we may have been a little further up Cornell, ran some trails that ran into, but there's not really any trails off that way that run into the Wildwood. So I really don't know for certain exactly where we were, but we came here, I ran. It's really good for running even with the hills because you're at a high elevation. That one time that I ran here for cross-country practice, I think I probably had more energy than I've ever had in my life. I was a horrible cross-country runner, but the problem was I didn't know this area. So I just ran on forever and then kind of started turning to come back and I got lost, meandering. I ended up like I was on like a trail that literally led to like some abandoned, it looked abandoned, maybe it wasn't, like farm space. There was like an old beat up truck and like a barn thing there. I don't know, it was creepy. So I was like, well, I don't remember seeing this, so I guess I have to go back the way I came. What happened was, that's impressive. I know I've seen that before, but there was these two twins that they were like our top cross-country runners, and there was only 2 times that I ever was running directly behind them, drafting off of them, so to speak. And both times, they're the only 2 times I ever got lost running. And one of those times was here, because they would run, and then they would stop and stretch for like 10 minutes, and I would just run past them. I'd be like, I'll be fine. And that is how I got lost in here. And I seriously, it was like an hour, like after we were supposed to be back to leave. Some of the runners, I think, had gone back down to the trail. I thought they were gonna leave without me. I wasn't a popular kid in high school. I honestly thought I might be forgotten. And then I finally came out, and I look up and I see the bus and I see Brett. And he's like, Steve! And he came running up to me and like hugged me like he thought I was dead and came back. So they didn't leave without me. That guy has the most fantastic accent I've ever heard. Anyway, so I survived. Okay. Yeah, okay. Hoo-ah. The climbing continues. It's a lot easier once you get to Pitock Mansion, though. At least that's how I remember it. I need to get my hands on some more water. I'm getting quite thirsty. Maybe I should have sucked some water up out of Balch Creek. You taste that? That's the taste of shotgun residue in your water, because you picked the wrong dad to mess with. Oh, ow, ow, ow. I didn't jam it again, I just took a step kind of a funny way. Oh my God, am I actually seeing like Portland? Kinda? Actually, I think I'm seeing the east side of the river, kinda through there. Can't see it that well, but I can see the city. Hear a little bit of it down on Cornell Road as I continue to linger along here. Aha, you tried to trick me. So you keep going that way. It's the Macleay Trail. I don't really know where that goes, unless that's the way me and my girlfriend went, which means it gets you to Pitock Mansion. But this says to Pitock Mansion, so we probably went that way. Thank you, signs. That doesn't say anything of real significance. It's down the Macleay Trail. I'm just wondering where that comes out. Oh, the climb continues. This last stretch is a doozy. I don't have too much more to go. I've already done a lot of the hard stuff, but I'm trying to keep from completely exhausting myself like I did the other day. I'm not a marathon runner. I'm not 20 anymore. So I'm pretty much, when it gets real steep like this, I'm walking like 100 yards, pausing, kind of get my breath, get a little more strength. I don't want to sit here too long because these are going to start cramping up. God, how much more hill climbing? I'm gonna throw up. Yeah, I'm definitely taking an elongated break at the Pitock Mansion. I don't have the time to do that anyway. Oh my God, though. It's just, it isn't ending. Like, how much higher can I climb now? Mind you, Cornell Road, now way down there, that's at a pretty high elevation as it is. So, I can't imagine that much more hill to climb. What's around this corner? Oh my God, more. I'm actually genuinely getting like a headache now from all this climbing. I saw some structure up over there. It's like looks like it might be a water tower thing. I had a little bit of a headache when I woke up. It started to fade, but this climbing brought it back. Yay. I did it. Now I feel like I'm gonna die. Oh, hello. Hello, Tweety bird. How you doing? Oh, wow, that's sad. Oh, hello. Hello, bird. Excuse me, I just need to sit down. Okay, dead serious, no joke. I don't think I'm gonna finish this today. That wiped me out. I feel almost like I'm on fire. I'm fine, I'm really hot from that climb. And see, the problem is once you get to the other side of Pitock Mansion, we go straight downhill because we get to Burnside. We have to cross Burnside, which is lower elevation. And then it turns into a bunch of climbing again. And I don't have that in me. Hello. Can I help you? He doesn't know what to think about me. Where'd you go? Did you fly away? Like, I'm fine. Actually, my legs aren't that bad. It's more that I'm getting a headache and I'm getting real hot. So, yeah, like worst case scenario, I may honestly have to come out for a third day because I really want to finish this. But I don't want to end up in the hospital because I got like, I mean, it's gonna be like low 80s today, but still, I'm really hot right now. Like I'm not hot to the touch, I just feel really hot. And, you know, it's not worth it to push myself, especially since I did such a long walk just 5 days ago. It's not worth it to me to like kill myself just to say I finished it. So, I mean, I'm still dedicated to finishing this thing. I just might cut out after stopping off here at the Pitock Mansion. No matter how tired I am, I'm not skipping out on the Pitock. I know I came up here about 1.5 years ago, checked out the Pitock Mansion in the rain, or not in the rain, in the fog, which is kind of a cool effect, but what sucked was I couldn't see the city on the other side, which, I mean, that's something that this place is really known for, is if you go into what is essentially like the backyard, if you will, you like a lot of those iconic pictures of Portland where you've got the city in the foreground and Mount Hood centered in the background. A lot of those are taken in or around the vicinity of the backyard of the Pitock Mansion here. This thing actually took a couple years to build, which doesn't surprise me. And Henry Pitock, is that his name, Henry? I'm sorry, I'm still very hot. Who was, you know, major player in the establishment of the Oregonian, which is still to this day probably Portland and Oregon's most well-known newspaper. And he wanted a private home in the hills built for him and his wife. And it was completed in 1914. And because of its almost kind of menacing allure, it's been used in multiple like horror films. Please tell me these are turned on. Hallelujah. Told you there'd be a water fountain around somewhere. Ooh. That felt good. Actually, I don't know if you can get, you might be able to get around. Otherwise, I have to go down to the street because I want to get around to the other side of the mansion. But yeah, I know, like, I guess one of the season finales of The Amazing Race, like, it concluded here. I read that on Wikipedia. A few different movies. I know a 1982 horror movie called Unhinged was filmed here, which was like horrible movie even by like cheap horror movie standards. I think this gets me around. I mean, it's a real beautiful spot. Yeah, you can see how high up we are. So, to no surprise, there's a lot of people here because it's where everyone comes to take pictures. And you can see that, like, from this perspective, you get downtown, which is in the foreground, and Mount Hood in the background. I should actually be able to see that this time around because it's not all foggy up here. This is a little information about the home.
Too much.
Try to note a few places. You got the Wells Fargo Tower, tallest building in Portland, just a hair taller than the Wells Fargo Center, which I always thought that was the tallest building. You've got Providence Park, is that what it's still called? For some reason my brain's shutting down on me. You've got Union Station right there. So, like, this is Chinatown, and this is the Pearl, and then you got more like Nob Hill through here, and then of course this is the predominant downtown crossed here, and then Portland State's kind of in here. Of course, Mount Hood in the distance. There you go. Don't say I never gave you nothing. I get out of here, go down the lower path that I think will connect me back to the Wildwood Trail. Because I remember when I was here in the fog, I ventured down to Burnside on the Wildwood Trail. Not too shabby. If that fell into my lap, I'd take it as a home. Oh, and I think these are like servants' quarters. If that's even what you can call them. And even this is really beautiful. I mean, it's pretty small. Can't give the help too much, you know. But I'm pretty sure like their help lived in this little structure. There's a way back up to the house. Yeah, the steward. You can never have too many stewards. All right, so yeah, I think if I keep going forward, I'm gonna make it back to the trail and probably start navigating my way out of here. Just the entrance to the mansion is back up there. I'm gonna go down this way because I remember going, oh yeah, perfect. I see a very familiar sign, or at least a familiar name on a sign. Could that be a sign for the Wildwood Trail as it's coming down from above? Yep. Wildwood Trail sign, that means I am right where I need to be. Crossing, and yeah, see, we start going down, down real quick, which means to get up and I actually know because I've walked this stretch. Pretty much all that's left of the Wildwood Trail I've walked before. I did a video, I think I called it like Creep in the Trails through Washington Park. And I think most of that I walked on the Wildwood Trail, except I was going the opposite direction that I'm going for this video. So even if I walk through all that again, it'll look different, even though it's not. I don't have another extensive climb in me. And all this downhill walking I'm doing, I'm just gonna be redoing going back uphill once you get across Burnside Street. And I just don't have it in me. Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, is just as to a Valle Vista Terrace down that way. So this is just one of those trails that just leads to one of these roads up in the West Hills. And I process on. And I'll tell you what, because this is what I did when I did my big Springwater corridor walk. Now granted, it was like 97 degrees that day, which it ain't gonna hit here. But I just want to say, when I did that video and I climbed Gresham Butte, by the time I got to the top, I literally was like, I'm done. Like, I'm completely wiped out. I can't walk several miles down this corridor. It's gonna be almost 100 degrees today. I can't do it. I'm done, guys. And then I sat down for about 20 minutes, got up, kept walking, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, I'm starting to get my second wind. And even now I'm kind of feeling that second wind. And you know, I know when we cross Burnside, I forget I'm gonna be passing right by the iconic Portland Rose Garden area, and there's not much of a climb to get into there. And was it really, because I kept thinking, like, don't I have to climb a big thing right after crossing Burnside? But that's I think further, it's a little further east in the park, I think, is where you have to do all that climbing. I think we're at such a high elevation here that once I cross Burnside, in fact, I crossed Burnside on like a walking bridge that actually kind of makes it hard to get to Burnside. So actually, I may not have to climb as much as I thought. I think I was just sitting on that bench with that bird and I was getting a little maniacal. And I was like, no, everything's uphill. It's all uphill. This is all downhill, so there has to be some more uphill on the other side. But I also don't think the Washington Park Zoo area, it's at a decent elevation. But it's downhill from Pitock Mansion. It's downhill from Council Crest on the other side. So I might actually not have to climb that much. And if that is the case, I might still get this done today, the whole thing. And it would actually be easier if I could get it all done, because then I can catch a Max to go home. And the best part is this, I end right by the zoo. And when you go down the elevator to the Max stop in the tunnel below the zoo, it's like really cold and down there, like natural air conditioning. That's gonna feel so good on me when all is said and done. Is that worth a little extra hill climbing? Maybe. Maybe. And as we continue to go down, I'm starting to hear traffic on Burnside, short distance away. The Wildwood Trail continues. What is up with rocks being wrapped up in chain link fence? Ooh, you know there's some mythical creatures living down in that thing. I'm smelling cigarettes. I smell cigarette smoke. So I think this is a trail that goes off somewhere else. Is this? I think this trail goes off this way. Oh, actually, no, this is the trail I'm on. Good, I was about to go up instead of down. Would have got myself lost up there. Ooh, some fresh graffiti. Actually, I think that upper trail, like, it leads to something, like I don't remember. It leads to something, though. For me, I'm getting, this is so interesting to see this in Forest Park after all we've seen, even though obviously we're in a more accessible stretch of the park, so, you know, it's not really that big of an issue to get up here, so you start getting all this tagging on this wall here, and then it just kind of stops. I guess this stretch was a little too mossy. They're like, how are we supposed to tag this up with all this moss here? And then Jimmy was like, well, tear the moss off. And then Frankie was like, no, why don't you tear the moss off? And they haven't spoke to each other for 13 years. I'm just assuming that's how that story went down. But hey, what do I know? I was born in America. What does that mean? Yeah, I'm starting to see the traffic on Burnside. I'm obviously hearing it, but I'm seeing it, which means we're about to cross Burnside, which means we'd officially be entering kind of the, I guess the edges of Washington Park. Because I want to say there's some residences there that I might pass. I don't really remember. I've only been down this particular way and across here once, and that was when I went up to film the Pitock Mansion, again, about a year and a half ago, so I don't really remember a whole lot about what I saw on the other side. I just know that there's like this really cool kind of bridge that kind of rounds its way across Burnside. It's named after a woman. I can't remember what it's called. But it's a really cool, and it kind of just, because, you know, I'm approaching Burnside right there, and I'm thinking, okay, the trail's gonna just go down to Burnside, and there's gonna be like a little sidewalk you cross to keep going. But oh no, this is Portland. We're not that lazy about it. No, we're not gonna make you go down to the, you know, the street and risk getting hit trying to cross it. We're gonna give you a badass bridge to cross. There's probably a sign here that says what it's called. I just can't remember what this bridge is called. But it sure makes me feel safer crossing Burnside. Uh-oh, wait, is this the, okay, Barbara Walker crossing. Wildwood Trail will be temporarily closed at the Barbara Walker for maintenance. So this whole chunk I just went through will be closed. It's like July 20th today, so I'm just barely getting in under the Walker Family Foundation. See, I never stopped to look at this. Portland Parks Foundation thanks the, I think, is that 900 plus donors to the Barbara Walker crossing, including those acknowledged here who gave $5,000 or more. Hell yeah, brother. Nice to have money. So these are the folks that helped make this bridge a reality, and now I'm stepping on your names. The Barbara Walker crossing. Look at all you driving your cars, lazy asses. Why don't you get out and take a walk on the Barbara Walker crossing? So this, again, this is really cool, and I love that this is here to cross, but if you want to get down to Burnside to, like, say, catch a bus, you have to kind of go on forever. It takes forever to actually get down here. So pretty much if you're in this vicinity, getting down to Burnside is a very long and troubling process. So, you know, you accept a cool bridge, but you sacrifice time. Because, yeah, unless you want to, you know, take a running jump down in this mess and then climb out of that ditch, you literally have to go up this trail a while, find a road that wraps back around, and eventually you get down to Burnside. So, it's the only negative about your crossing, Miss Barbara Walker. Practicality for those that want to get to Burnside. But then again, I mean, who the hell wants to go down to Burnside Street? Seriously. Mr. Oh, look at me. I divide North and South Portland. I'm hot shit, aren't I? You're douchebag, Burnside Street. That's what you are. Anyway, let's be sensible, Steve. The Hoyt Arboretum. I didn't even know I was here. I thought this was closer to the zoo for some reason. Yeah, so the zoo's kind of just to the bottom of this. And I'm up here. Now, this looks like a lot more ground to cover than it really is. But yeah, I'm glad I saw this because I was going to keep going this way up to the street. But the Wildwood Trail turns and zigzags, so that's the Wildwood Trail. So yeah, so I kind of meander past these streets and come out down here. I'm trying to make sure I don't want to make the mistake of missing. I'm so confused. Okay, whatever. I came here to do a job. Yeah. I was like, this doesn't say which way the wild. Well, maybe look at the blue, Steve. Oh my God, the number of times I have been dumb just because I wouldn't take 2 or 3 extra seconds to look at something. That's how I get lost. So yeah, the legs they're a little tired, you know, they're gonna be. I literally haven't really rested my legs or feet consistently for like a week almost. But I feel like I'm getting that second wind. I'm tired, but I think you can see that I'm much more lively. Sometimes, you know, it's just a matter of sitting down for 10 minutes. Sometimes you need more, sometimes not as much. This bridge looks very shaky to me. Pretty stable, I guess. So, of course, yeah, Creek Trail, which looks nice and steady. No, Wildwood Trail's this way. So, of course, the trail that goes uphill. Honestly, I could probably get to the same place I'm going that way faster, but I have a rule. Follow the Wildwood. This is, Dawn Redwood. You don't say. Cool, I wonder if that's gonna start happening a little bit more, start seeing the markers on the trees now that I'm in the, is it Arboretum? Arboretum? I honestly don't know. I've never heard anybody actually say the name. I've always said Arboretum. So maybe I sound like an idiot. It's another cool spot to walk through because it's pretty. I guess this isn't that much. See, this is like that more steady hill climbing. Not that straight up into the heavens stuff I was doing earlier. Well then, I guess I go this way. What's this up here though? I guess this probably wraps around and goes up there. I'm wondering if that's like a viewpoint or if there's actually some nature significance to that. I don't know. I don't know, maybe it's just some fancy fences. I don't know. Yeah, it's just a cute little viewpoint. Get to take in the trees from a slightly higher perspective. Ah, some redwood history. What the hell? Menacing birds in the trees. Trees with a presence. Yeah, you're telling me. Yeah, look at that. Compared to the Space Needle, that's crazy. There's a wedding happening today. You know what? That makes sense. Oh, wait, of course. I could come out right there. That looks nice and enticing. No, let's see. Way over here. All right, yeah, I'll keep going this way. That makes sense. The Wildwood just keeps sending me directions I don't know in. Yeah, but when I was there at the viewpoint, I saw a guy just standing by the trail, hands locked in front of him, and he was wearing like a tuxedo with like a flower on it. I was like, that guy looks like he's going to a wedding. And like a bride and all of her bridesmaids just walked by me. And I was like, oh, sorry, don't mean to get in the way of the wedding procession. Sharp turn. Is this another? Oh, it's a bench. Good. I need a moment. Just a little moment. Cheers. All right, it was a fun sit, but the Wildwood waits for no man, as you probably know by now. What street are we coming up to? Which way are the rose gardens? None of these maps are helping me. It says visitor center, quarter of a mile that way. I don't know. This is the Wildwood. For some reason, I think we're gonna go a little south of the rose garden. If that's the case, I ain't climbing the hill to get up there, so maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. Elm and Zilkova. Or tree plant life history. Looking at the manner in which the trees go. Can't hate on a weeping willow. Just gonna... Nah, that doesn't really help me that much. But yeah, I get the vibes. I'm probably gonna be a little downhill from the rose gardens. And if that is the case, well, millions of people have taken pictures of the rose gardens. I've vlogged there. I think I did a two-part thing where it was like extra content that I didn't have anywhere to put. I showed video of me, so if we don't see it today and you want to see it, you can go to the extra adventures is what they're called. I wonder if that's this tree. This is a wide-spreading tree. Wow, it's really pretty right through here. It's almost fall-like. I'm wondering, like, these, because I know, like, obviously there's snow. Look how deep it goes. Because there's not all trees shed their leaves in the fall. Some trees shed leaves at various times of the year. Because I'm like, at first I was like, because this is very fall-like, but it's like late July. So I was like, are these like leftover leaves from like last like October? But it could just be that there's trees that shed leaves at different times of the year. Is that the Wildwood Trail? Or is this just another trail coming up here? I don't know. I think it is, because it looks like I just wrap around. Okay, I definitely don't. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Let's see. What does this say? What do you say? Okay, well, this is really confusing. Like, I know it's saying Redwood or Wildwood that way, but the Redwood deck is pointing that way and it's the same directions. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna miss it by a bit by being Oak Trail. Okay, well, I'm also hearing that construction over there, and I think that's the construction at the old reservoir, which is downhill from the rose garden. So I think I go back up just the other side of the rose garden. So I don't know. You may get lucky yet. Other bench. This bench is like bare. It's like into the ground. So interestingly, Joe Carbach Alexander not Sheffield, but Sheffield. He was born 1934, died 1991. Your spirit walks with us. Here's to you. Gotta give these people respect. They either were people that did good in their lives, so they deserve memories like that, or they came from rich families that can afford to give them those kind of sending off of that nature. Whatever the case, Joe, you were probably pretty cool. All right, so does this mean I'm doing a sweeping turn? Yeah, so this is gonna take you, yeah, that's just gonna take you to someone's house pretty much. So here we go. I'm not liking that we're going downhill again. Oh God, please don't make there be a, like, I remember going downhill when I was creeping the Washington Park trails, so I feel like I'm inevitably gonna have to deal with that again, but I'm kind of in a state of denial at the same time. So interesting to suddenly see houses popping up. But whatever the case, onward we go. Coming down to an actual street here again. See, that's how you know this is the part that's more traveled, is there's actual, like, streets you're crossing. You're not just walking down a trail in the middle of the hills with no sounds, for as long as you can recall. All right, oh, I guess I was about to say, where the hell did the trail go? This is not where it ends, don't you lie to me. But then I see there's this little dip, there's a road here, and then there's a road there, and they come together down there. So this is Cascade Drive and Upper Cascade Drive. Well, okay. I'm just gonna cut right through both of you. No traffic. No traffic. I'm being welcomed back to the Hoyt. Okay, I saw that bush and I thought there was a person there. I was like, hey, what about the I've actually. Oh, wait a minute. I'm apparently right here, and this says 2 Japanese garden and rose garden. Well, what do you know about that? You tried to confuse me. Ooh, check out the old sign. Winter garden. I don't even know what that means. Wildwood. Okay, oh yeah. Japanese gardens, half a mile away. And the rose garden's a little bit more. Holy crap. I'm heading right towards it. Did not expect that. Oh, so I guess maybe, so I wasn't in Washington Park. I was in the Hoyt Arboretum. Again, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but now I guess I'm officially in Washington Park, I guess, after crossing that street. Oh yeah. So, just entered Washington Park officially, and so I'm going to record on this a little bit until we get to the rose gardens. So I'm switching back to because my iPhone's down to like 38%. So I'm giving it a bit of a rest so I can use it a little bit more later. Well, this is an interesting twist. Wildwood Trail, but I'm actually like surrounded by houses. You know, some like these are West Hill homes. These homes cost a pretty penny, even the smaller ones. But yeah, it's all homes down there, and it's all homes up there. So I'm kind of in this venerable little space between a succession of private properties. My God, now there's power lines overhead? What sort of futuristic civilization have I stumbled upon? It's supposed to just be me and the trail. No signs of technology or civilization. Even with the bajillion times I said, hey, the last stretch of the Wildwood is much more traveled than the others. Is that a... Oh, this is another marker, but it's been bamboozled, feng shuied, tilted, messed with, teetered, dangling. Okay, is this getting as obnoxious for you as it is for me? Yeah, this has been all like beat up. Someone raged on this thing, which is unfortunate because it's not super reliable. What is this? So as I'm applying, it goes up like that, so it's implying Wildwood Trail. I swear, if I get screwed by that, I'll find out whoever damaged you. You will be avenged. Got another dedication bench. Memory of Virginia Miller Bedore? Better? I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, but cheers to you as well, Virginia. Give them all their due attention as I pass them by, even though I've missed a lot of them. So I guess I'm just gonna try to hit whatever else I can. Oh, so we're back to this. Wildwood Trail. Nice and safe. Treacherous and deadly. Swear to God, if somebody comes up behind me and pushes me, I pray they push me this way. See if he's sneaking up behind me. I'm paranoid. Nope, no paranoia mode moments. It's not a therapy walk, even though actually technically this is kind of the ultimate therapy walk. You know what? Screw it. Doing that actually gave me goosebumps by the time I was done. Where does this trail lead? Death? They make you think, oh, look at this cute little trail. That just kind of, I guess, a little extra, you know? People going this way, go that way. People going this way, go that way. I don't know. Got some, yeah, those are like, I think, the streets that wind up to the Rose Garden. So, hey, I'm in the right spot. All of a sudden, it's very quiet again. Happens just that quickly. Like I was surrounded by houses like less than 10 minutes ago, and now it's just me and nature again. Sign. I see a vehicle. Could it be? I don't know what it could be. It could be anything. Okay. Wildwood Trail. Just says Wildwood Trail. Okay, map trail, the garden. Ah. Wildwood Trail. Tried to hide the sign from me, didn't you? Thought you could sneak one around old Steve. But as you'll learn, you gotta wake up pretty in the morning. That's not what I meant to say. Pretty early in the morning to pull the wool over these eyes. Starting to crash again. Starting to be in need of a break. Problem is, because I decided to keep going, I'm now not really in a practical area to get picked up by public transportation. I'm at least not in a close area, because yeah, I'd have to meander through Washington Park, and yeah, I'd hope that would get me through here. I'd have to go all the way down the hill to catch the closest Max, which would be the same one in the tunnel under the zoo at the end of this thing. I know it's a hefty climb at the end to get up to the zoo. You know, once again, I'm like, I don't know if I have it in me. Wait, was that the Hoyt Arboretum? Okay, it says Max Station, so about 2/3 of a mile. Well, that doesn't sound too horrible. Maybe that trek is steep but shorter than I remember. The archery is where the archers go. I love that this is here. I thought the archery was past the rose garden. I don't know anything anymore. Maybe it was. Maybe I ended up accidentally going around it. What's strange is I thought I was going to go below it. I think I may have actually gone above it. No, I don't like this at all. Oh boy. Good, levels off for a second. That's what I need. I'm just thinking, if it says a Max station is 0.65 miles away, back there, I think the stop under the tunnel, because that one actually kind of is like a station, whereas the others are just general stops. So I do think, alas, I ended up going around the rose garden. Fly, bud, fly. There you go. It's like I ain't wasting the flapping of my wings on you. you buffoon. What is this? What am I stumbling onto? It's open space over there. Oh yeah, I guess there's another path going that way. That's the Maple Trail. Yeah, it says the zoo is, of course, is that just straight away? Because, well, let's see, is this, where am I? Oh, I'm here, so I wrap up, wait, oh, okay, I wrap up through here and around and down. Okay. Keep on. Oh, wait, we got Nancy Jo Dawson, teacher of life, love, and spirit. Here's to you, Nancy. Hope I didn't miss one. I'm trying to remember them all now, but now that I'm seeing no references to the Rose Garden, I missed the Rose Garden. Still going the right way. Wildwood this way. Yeah, stay in the trees. I'm gonna make it. I may die after I do it, but I'm almost to the end. I remember this, passing this thing. PMW, Portland Medical Women. I don't know, but I'm gonna bung you for a second. Oh, sorry, birdie. Didn't mean to ruffle your feathers. I'm very tired. Just let me slump. Let me stay here forever. It'd be a lot more comfortable if I didn't hear the crinkling of critters running in the grass directly behind my head. They're gonna bite my ponytail. Don't touch me. Walking past this. Which is interesting because I swear there was a lot more downhill going this way than there was. I thought I was gonna have a lot more uphill to do. Hallelujah! Wildwood. How long for the... I don't know, it doesn't say. Yeah, I remember walking down there and that doesn't really take you, it just takes you out onto like a street. And I think it's like a dead-end street. Viewpoint, 412 feet. Visitor Center, 0.8. Vietnam Memorial, half a mile. And the Vietnam Memorial is like right by, not right by, but pretty close to the zoo. This thing is dummy thick. Where's this viewpoint? I would love to see this glorious viewpoint they speak of just a few hundred feet ahead of me. Oh no. Which way do I go? Tell me. Okay. Overlook Trails that way. Wildwood that way. Viewpoint 286 feet. So you're telling me I'm getting close. Oh God, but now I'm about to be out in the sun. I didn't sign up for this. It's supposed to be about 85, 86 degrees, but I'll tell you with where I'm at, it's probably gonna feel like it's 100. Okay, so this is the Wildwood. Viewpoint 140 feet, and I'm still on the right trail. Discovery points. Is this the viewpoint you spoke of? I guess you can see. Oh, I didn't realize that we were looking north. I thought we were looking west. But I'm pretty sure that's Mount St. Helens. Off in the distance, you probably can barely make it out because I'm using a GoPro. So there actually is a decent view. I thought I was looking towards the coast, but I guess that's this way, so I'm all turned around. Oh no, we're gonna talk some dark history. The poor farm that was in this area. I'm pretty sure wasn't a lot of it under the zoo itself. Yep, and there's Council Crest, another climb I did about 2 years ago. The big antenna thing up there. Oh, so the Veterans Memorial is that way, but my trail is sending me this way. Whoa! Okay, that was impressive, wasp. Wasps suck, but I just saw that wasp snatch a bug out of thin air. Wildwood Trail, huh? Holly Loop. Alright, whatever. What the fuck is happening? Oh man, we got some boys out today. Woo loo loo. Okay. I gotta keep my eye because I know eventually the trail ends. I doubt there's some big marker. Well, if it's because, like, you know, what's the end of the trail for me could be the start for anybody going the other way. So I'm wondering if there's got to be some like marker at the start of the trail that tells other people, like, oh hey, the Wildwood Trail begins here if you want to head off in a northern direction. I'm guessing these are stairs. I'm not going down them, but just wanted to get a view down here. This is nice, little bit of nature, but I reckon I need to go up here. I'm so close, Wildwood, to beating you, or at least beating like 3/4 of you. Okay, well now this is also saying the Vietnam, so I guess that one goes around to it, and this one goes around to it also. I thought I was gonna miss all that stuff. And that's about 1/3 of a mile. And that's chicken feed because this is, you know, as we near the end of the Wildwood Trail, this is, you know, it's not all switchbacky like it is most of the way. You're covering all this ground, but you're really not covering anything because you're just like, it's like chutes and ladders. Except you want to kill yourself at the end. It's got something, a crypt. The world's biggest casket. I don't know. Maybe it's another water thing. It's so quiet. I think I'm this close to all these attractions that kind of surround the zoo. I think I'd be seeing more people right now. Oh, not the sun. Way, fiend. Ooh, another bench. In memory of, I thought it said Sheena Easton at first. Sheila H. Sheehan. Here's to you, Sheila. Giving you all my due attention, aside from the many benches I passed that I didn't. It's real pretty in here. This little thicket. It's not even really a thicket. I just like saying that word. I see another board up here that's probably got some park information, tree information, flower information. Oh, hello, Bumbler. Just do what you do. No, he's like, get the hell away from me. I'm busy at work, man. I've seen so many of those, so many bumblebees on this walk. I'm like, I gotta at least get up close and personal with one of you. Alright, I mean, that look, no, never mind, that goes uphill. So, screw you. Wildwood goes that way. I just want to see what this signboard says. Could be something interesting. Heath. Family name Erikson? Erikson? I don't know. What is this? Northern Beauty. So yeah, so it's more about different types of plant life in the area. How nice. I'd stick around longer, but my toe's hurting, and I'm kind of looking forward to finishing this, especially since I really didn't think I was going to pull it off. I showed you, didn't I, Steve? Ye of little faith. Another stupid connector trail. You're worthless. Actually, they're pretty much the exact opposite of worthless. Oh yeah, but the Vietnam Memorial's down there. I can see the bridge that crosses it. So I'm guessing we're gonna circle in close proximity to it. I know the video I did where I talk about creeping the back trails of Washington Park. I do a full walkthrough of that. So yeah, if you enjoy watching this, go watch that video, because it's a lot more of this same kind of stuff. And stuff that I missed on this venture, you can see in those videos. Alright, another connector trail. You are leading me this way, so I will continue to go said direction. Okay, Maple Trail that way, Wildwood this way. Keep on wrapping. All these trails are kept shoving into each other. Connector trail. Why do you think where I see that blue stripe? It's Wildwood Trail. Keep going this way. Wrapping. It's not a, for some reason I thought that was a trail for a second. Okay. In our memorial parking. Wait a minute. Oh my God. Right here. There's no arrow pointing this way anymore. Who would have thought such a nondescript spot would make me feel so alive? Damn right. The Wildwood Trailhead, you've been thwarted. I mean, minus, like, this part. And, like, I don't know, a little bit of this. But for the most part, across the St. John's. So I started here and I made it most of the way through all of that dotted insanity. Uphill, downhill, past the old stone house, Pitock Mansion, Barbara Walker Bridge, Hoyt Arboretum. Missed it by a little bit. And I made it here at the end, at least the end for me. but perhaps the beginning for others.